Well, hello there. Happy Wednesday. I'm still working on my timing there, I think. But we are thrilled to be back with you again tonight for another episode of Dungeon Masters Guild Showcase featuring the 3-part campaign or mini campaign known as Scourge of the Nightingale. And to help craft this incredible narrative with us, some of the Twitterverse's finest, some of the most incredible community members to be found in the Dungeons and Dragons / TTRPG sphere. It's my pleasure to introduce you to these wonderful folks. Today, we're going to start with none other than at Just Drawn Radio. Say hello to the gent who plays Muse. How's it going, Dustin?
Oh, a little stressed tonight, man. But of course, it is always an honor and a pleasure to be here. Of course, I am playing the gun-toting, wisecracking Muse. Tonight it is Muse is standing off against the Goblin leader. He's got a couple of rounds left in the gun, his trusty Eldritch shotgun at his side, and well, I think his coin's getting flipped tonight, but I'm gonna hope for the best.
Only time will tell, and some digital dice. Let's go downward on your screen and say hello to you at Pleasant Doom playing Glitter Bomb.
I'm Angela, one of the hosts of Dungeons, Dinings, and Dorks. I'm also super nervous. Right now, Glitter Bomb is down. She is down after pulling a whole lot of Hail Marys out of her tail feathers. She's down on the ground.
All we know is it's not the DM's fault. That's the only thing we know for sure at this point. That's right. We'll give you a little more context in the recap when we tell you exactly what happened at the end of last stream. I'm not just like pulling up my shirt and accurate event Steam for no reason, of course. Let's say hello to Nikki, aka at Chickenly Nerd, playing Cloud in our wonderful little game.
Hi, everybody. I am the nerdy chicken at Chickenly Nerd. You can find me on Twitter all the time, pretty much at Chickenly Nerd, or Instagram. I pop in there sometimes too. Go check out my shop, nerdychicken.ca. Like I've been saying, we've got a couple new things in there now, and we're getting more things as we speak. So you got to keep on checking.
Nice. The nerdiest and the most wonderful of chickens, in my humble opinion. Of all the chickens that I know, you're easily my favorite.
Aw, and I bet you know a lot of chickens.
I do. I make a point to try and network with chickens locally, regionally, and globally. But enough about chickens. There's only one that matters. Let's go to Dads and Dragons, aka Drogan. Say hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ryan. I am a DM at Dads and Dragons, where I play a D&D session with my teenage boys, and we talk about what it's like to run games with your family and with your kids. And we're jumping into. I just got this in hardcover, and we're getting excited.
Look at that stunning FLGS
Nice.
limited edition custom print Mythic Odysseys of Theros.
We are going back.
Very nice.
When school starts up in September, we are starting off our Theros campaign. We just got out of Ravnica, and it's awesome. So
nice.
With that.
Doing the whole MTG circuit.
Yep.
There's more Magic the Gathering happening in Dungeons and Dragons now than there is in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, there is.
That's amazing. Hello, chat. Welcome. I am Brad, a.k.a. Shambazzle Games. I'm, of course, your DM for Dungeon Masters Guild Showcase featuring Scourge of the Nightingale this playthrough. And I will be the humble arbiter of dice / purveyor of narrative where and when required. But most of the time, because I have such pro players, I just get to chill and enjoy the ride. And that also acts as kind of my disclaimer, because your boy Shambazzle might be on the verge of his very first total party kill. So it's my hope that history will be made tonight. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. I'm thinking that I will, for the first time, be robbed of my first total party kill. But it got pretty real last time. Before we jump into that, I want to say hello to some folks in chat. Rolls with Advantage, bringing down the house. Seth Chaos, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Dreaded, great to see you. Of course, Dr. Feargood continuing the narrative arc with us in chat today. Thanks very much all for joining us. If you haven't spoken up in chat, that's fine. Say hi, interact with us, let us know. Of course, when we start the session, we'll be mainly focused on the game, but we'll always make time afterwards to come back to chat, give our shout outs and say hello to folks. So feel free to engage and interact as you would normally, but we'll go back and we'll collect all those goods at the end because we want to stay focused and dialed into the story at hand. Pleasant Doom is scared. Just Drawn Radio is stressed because the weight of what happens next could very well lie in his hands. Quite literally, a nerdy check-in, a plea for help. But Dads and Dragons just keeping it cool.
We're good
for now.
We're good.
He's the ice cold. He's the one keeping us grounded at the moment. Offline follows. We had Gaming with Philip. Thank you very much for the offline follow. While we missed you whilst live, I hope to see you in chat soon. Thank you very much. And of course, Tiblab, thank you very much for the raid last night. We got raided by Tiblab. It was awesome. A great community member and friend of the show. But we're actually just logging off because we were playing The Last of Us 2 last night, and Steph and I had had enough. And then she had nightmares, actually. Sorry, it was Monday. It was Monday. And then she had nightmares about The Last of Us 2. No spoilers, other than the fact that it might be potentially nightmare-inducing. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Let's talk about what happened last time. Just Drawn /Muse/Dustin. You mentioned that you were a little bit stressed, and based on what happened last time, right, Bick? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Tell us a little bit more about what happened in the last moments of our previous session.
We were moving. We were. We were moving rather stealthily towards rescuing Devon using a combination of friend rope. Drogon whapping things over the head, and Muse continuously pumping arcane energy into said rope. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, with a ill-conceived fall from our favorite glitter bomb, and Muse having a really rotten time climbing up onto a guard tower perch to start taking shots, we were discovered by the goblins. We started to actually, with a couple of nice crack shots, as well as some really well-done spells, the tide started to turn in our favor until the big bad showed up. At first, Muse believed that the big bad was targeting the lone tiefling on the tower, and he figured, hey, if this is how his coin was getting flipped, standing up for his friends, it would be a good run. Unfortunately, the goblin brought the fireball down on his friends. So they are all down. Muse is standing alone against what definitely can take him out in one shot. He's got the last word. He's got his trusty shotgun. Having our help, folks. Let's go.
The situation is dire. I don't want to put too much space between that. Great quick little recap and our session tonight, so we'll jump in just a moment. Unfortunately, I don't have a system built into stream yet where chat can help, but that will be coming soon, so stay tuned. But that's the only teaser I will give you for tonight as we jump back into Scourge of the Nightingale with Episode 7, Season 1, and the fate of our adventurers resting in the hands of one Muse perched high above a goblin tower, levying his sights downward on the big bad evil who has just quite literally smoked his friends. Let's see what happens. Now, before we jump in, let's give you a quick little narrative recap of what has happened since last time. First, I need my background music. I need my ambiance. Tooth and nail. A vicious battle rages in the east wing of the Goblin Fort. Thankfully, between the absent-mindedness of the Goblin cohort and the ongoing entertainment outside the main barracks, the majority of the Goblin tribe remained unaware. One by one, the party deftly made their way around the outer perimeter of the fort, eliminating the Goblin scouts and their overwatch, until finally coming to rest just inside the east block in time to see Cloud attempting to free Devon, the kidnapped groom, from his cage. Just in time to draw the attention of a small but savage group of hulking hobgoblin marshals. Together, they shortly would have handled these few hobs and handed them their defeat. However, the arrival of their purported superior, a spell-wielding, unmerciful brute of a goblin, turned the fates. With a swift command of the battlefield, the chieftain and his henchfolk gave challenge to the intruders and whittled away at the party. As the tide began to turn, the leader invoked a deadly incantation. But before we continue, I was called out on something, fortunately. I'm going to share with you all one of my few house rules, or one of my few most important house rules. We don't generally allow rules challenges in the thick of the game because it interrupts the narrative. We prefer to stable those and revisit them at the end of the session. However, my one caveat is I will allow a rules challenge in the middle of the game or in the middle of action if it could directly result in the death of a player. In this case, we're facing the death of 3 players. So it was brought to my attention that part of this whole, to use a Mercerism, which he doesn't own but uses often, cacophony, there's potential that the goblin's fly spell would have failed. There were 2 strikes on the flying goblin before he cast this fireball, which puts the party definitely in peril. So I've agreed to go ahead and roll those concentration checks, and I would love to share them with you tonight. So the goblin, our big bad, is going to make 2 concentration checks. If they succeed, nothing changes. If they fail, if any one of the 2 fails, we will retcon the last round of action. We'll return the 3 fallen heroes to 13 hit points where they were, and we will begin at the end of the last round. Are you guys ready for this?
No.
Let's do it.
Both strikes were
I
under
feel
10. We're under 20
sick.
damage. So just quick context, a concentration saving throw to determine if a caster can maintain a concentration spell is either a DC of 10 or half of the damage sustained. So in this case, he needs to beat a 10. He needs to beat a 10 twice on constitution saving throws. Here goes saving throw number 1. Chat can see it. The players cannot. Can someone in chat please let me know what the first number is? Please type the first number in chat that you see on screen there.
What is it?
Oh my god!
Oh.
Thank you, Dr. Feargood. The
No.
goblin
Oh my
has
God.
failed his saving throw. With that, the devastating spell-slinging goblin falls from the sky as Drogon's guiding bolt arcs down from the heavens, bleeding searing white light through his chest, smashing him downward to the ground. He forces himself to his knees, battle axe in hand. Sparing himself a 3rd level slot, the fireball is therefore retconned, and our players are back at 13. To continue onward, as the fireball sizzles in the goblin's hands, he falls to the ground and struggles to his feet, seething, frothing at the mouth, as he pervades the few standing usurpers before him. Time seems to slow to a halt, as Muse, staring down the barrel of his gleaming flintlock weapon, heart pulsing, and the fate of his new companions resting squarely in the success or failure of his next moves. The slowing time seems to halt as Muse blocks the world out around him, desperate for a moment of clarity, a sign, or even a miracle. Muse, seems like you earned yourself a miracle tonight. What do you do?
Oh my god!
I sight down on our goblin friend.
Okay.
I put the last word against my head, and I think to myself, Lorelei, if you're out there, give me something. Don't let me fail these people. I'm counting on you. And with that, I aim the last word at the goblin, and I take my shot.
All right, let's see it. the blast of the gun, you barely stave yourself against the recoil as a projectile launches laser-like across the field over the standing barracks and slams into the shoulder, the hide plating of the Goblin Devastator. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh my god.
Good hit.
Oh my
And the fire as well.
god.
How poetic. Muse, bring him down.
Oh. All right. So as I put the last word to my head, and I'm again call to Lorelei and go, you know what? I don't know where you are, Lorelei, but if you're out there, give me this. Just don't let me fail my friends. I pull the trigger. Fire barks out of the sides of the last word. The shot straight true, slams into him, and as the goblin falls down, Muse just kind of looks at him. That's for messing with my friends. Quick and clean.
That was amazing. As it blasts through his chest, he falls to the ground, and with the impact is carried backward as his lifeblood begins to spill into mixing with the black, browns, the maroon, and green of the dying grass. But you're not out of the woods yet. As you take a brief moment to take in this split-second victory, you're consciously made aware of the screaming and yelling from the other side of the district, the westernmost section of the camp. As you turn your attention, you hear the braying of horses in the wagon begin to course, the snapping of reins, and the goblins all in unison beginning to scream, screech in the call to arms at the cries, the rallying cry of their leader as they begin to race towards the gate. In that moment, you turn your attention towards the gate, which, like a zombie crawl, is beginning to fill with goblins. But there's one in the lead that looks familiar to you. As Pio crashes through the gate, turns around in a panic, slams the gates closed. You see the ratchet towards the gate fitting as the plate slams with the two locks, click, click. And she just, with her battle axe, crashes down on the keys that remain in the hole, cracking them off, wedging the gate tight. She turns around and looks up at you, Muse. Gives you a thumbs up. I don't think it's going to hold for long, boss. As she rushes over towards the folks in the middle of the field.
I call up. Good work, Pio. All right, y'all. I believe it's about high time we get out of this party. Somebody get Devin out. I'll get the rope ready.
Devin, back away from the gate.
Devin just scoots up against the bars with his feet, and he just pushes back, looking around from one to the other wildly, his brown hair matted with thick sweat. All right.
Keys.
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 Yes.
Keys.
While Cloud is looking for the keys, I'll start smashing at the lock with my hammer.
Okay. Cloud, what are you doing?
Figure the big guy probably has a set of keys if the I'm going to
go for it.
Over to him.
Sure.
Keys.
As you rush over and you slide to your knees, thumbing over the belongings quickly of this hulking goblin as he's still continuing to bleed out into the dead grass, and you find easily around the side of his belt a similar like iron key ring with 3 keys on it as you pull it forward.
I'll run over to the side where I saw the lock on.
Okay. You race to Drogon's side as you raise the hammer and you begin to crash it down on the lock. Clank! It smashes off the iron. Go ahead and roll an attack roll for me, please. In a showering of sparks, it slams into the lock, which crashes into it. It dances as Cloud comes up with the keys, like just kind of fumbling for them. You pull the key up, Cloud. You lean towards the lock just as Drogon's hammer comes down and smashes into it in a fray of sparks as it just crack swings for a moment and then falls to the ground with a thud.
I kind of toss the keys behind me.
Okay.
Okay.
We might
And
need these still.
Glitter bomb.
I reach it.
Sorry, go ahead, Cloud. Yeah.
I just reach it. I reach my hands in for Devin and try to help him
He
get out.
rushes off the shock momentarily and reaches out for your hands as he gingerly takes them, and he smiles, nodding to you, tears welling up in his eyes at the impossible fate that he now seems to be facing, certainly one more promising than the one he had known for days before. As he slowly makes his way out of the cart, but he's shaking off the cramping in his legs, and he looks at you all. He says, "I can't thank you enough.
We
We're
still
free."
have to get out.
He looks
We'll
over his
have to get
shoulder at the wall of goblins now forming around the gate as they're... Unfortunately, all of the key holders are on this side of the fence right now as a couple of them break away and begin to thin out and disappear.
How about reunions later, friends? Go now.
I am scurrying towards that tower. I think friend rope is still
Friend
there.
rope is down, is ready for you.
Alright, so I am scurrying back towards the tower and starting to climb back up.
Okay. We are going to go back into initiative, so that will bring us to Muse.
I'm at the top of the tower. Is there anything I can roll to give additional assistance to my friends? Otherwise, I'm going to just hold action and overwatch until I'm needed to start shooting again.
Okay, sounds good. As you look over the horizon of the tower, the magical rope dangling and dancing, Glitter's gonna have advantage on that regardless. Otherwise, I would give you advantage. But as you look, you just kind of try to keep a bead between the rungs of the iron grate, just making sure that if anything is to penetrate, that you're ready and that the last word is primed. That will take us to Drogon.
I rush over to the rope as well, dragging Devin along with me if I can.
Okay, Devin is traveling with you. Cloud.
Oh, definitely go for heading over to the rope. What have I got? I think I can actually hold on, where's my character? I think by using my feline agility and all my movement, I can actually move like 160.
Ooh.
So I should be able to get up the rope.
Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't have a problem with it. Go ahead and roll your climb with advantage. Your athletics. Sorry. Yes, your athletics.
Okay. Oh, come on, get up there. Oh my god, of course. Look
The
at
rounds will be slightly different next round just because well, you got it with advantage though.
Yep.
So you get that crit.
Oh, good.
As Cloud just in one movement bursts across the field, jumps, grabs the rope with both hands, and just quickly hand over hands, and like lightning, Muse, she appears beside you as she vaults over the tower. And with that, a raucous echoes as you hear screaming and now grumbling coming from the southern section. The wall gives a great heave and ripples the logs that are bound together with hemp. And another as it ripples. Intruders.
Oh.
And with a third crash against the center wall.
Wow.
The logs blister and spread into wooden shrapnel as a mighty ogre crashes through, slams his mace on the ground, looks towards those of you on the tower and roars, and begins to storm across the field. The rest of his movement, churning the bodies of his fallen former employers into the ground as in a rage he storms towards those of you as you spare but a brief moment before turning to the rope ahead of you. Muse.
Take a shot.
All right. Flintlock prime. You let loose another projectile as the air fills with the stench of burnt powder.
Ugh.
Follow up with the shotgun.
Okay, as it flies overhead, the ogre just he barely breaks stride as you draw a single bead of blood from his shoulder. The blunderbuss comes up under hand. You feel the arcane crystal fire infuse and blasts forward in a fan of smoke. It squarely hits the ogre in the chest, but bursts into dust, and as the dust fades, you see the enraged face of the ogre crashing even further towards the gate.
Time to go, friends.
Yes, yes, climb.
Drogon. Glitter, you're next.
I will send Devin up the rope
Okay.
and ready in action if the ogre gets close enough to take a swing at him.
Okay. Devin turns around. He says, "Thank you, friend." And he begins to climb hand over hand. And with some effort, he ultimately manages to kick against the wall and climb. It's like watching desperately, wishing for time to speed him along. It seems to take forever given the circumstances, but eventually his hands do appear over the top of the tower as he reaches for you, Muse and Cloud, to help him up. But before long, he's reached safety in the platform ahead.
Call down. Drogon, your turn.
If there's time, then I'll start climbing up.
Yep, you haven't used your action yet,
Okay.
so
Oh,
go
great.
for it.
Then I'll use my action to climb up.
So you turn your attention away from the ogre, you turn to the rope, and you begin to climb. Go ahead and roll your athletics check for me, please.
Yes.
With advantage, as the rope is still knotted. Drogon fits his legs around the rope and slowly begins to climb as well. The splint mail is proving heavy, Drogon, but fueled by adrenaline and the will of Dogmarin, you begin to pull hard on the rope before eventually you see the wood at eye level and the horizon of the sky beyond. Breathing a sigh of relief, you amble up on top of the platform as well. Glitterbomb. Only two remain, Glitterbomb and Pio, looking upward from the ground below.
Hurry.
Oh, I think you're
Call
muted.
down.
Are you muted?
Sorry, that was my microphone.
Glitterbomb's going to go loot the bodies.
I go loot the bodies. No, I'm going to, as quickly as I can, scramble up the road and kind of call back, Pio, climb, 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 climb.
Okay, roll your athletics check. As Pio grabs the rope behind you and begins to climb up as well. Deftly, Glitterbomb climbs up the rope, and before long, she too has reached safety and the platform above. Pio, you look up, her eyes wider than you've ever seen, as with two small hands, she grabs the rope and begins to kick off the wall. The raging ogre now crashing across the ground, forcing the whole tower and the walls to quake. And she easily does the same. Similar to Cloud's agile, deft movements up the rope, she quickly, hand over hand, using her feet as well to climb up the rope, is up to the tower in seconds. And with that, all the party members are safe above ground, looking down at the ogre that's bearing down on you across the field. Cloud, your turn.
Flip the rope, flip the rope.
I jump.
Okay. Go ahead and jump 20 feet below with feline agility. A Cloud launches from the tower. Go ahead and roll your dexterity saving throw.
We'll see.
Presumably.
Leaping
A
down.
dexterity throw.
Good stuff. You take 4 damage as you land on the ground, absorb the roll, and tuck into a turn.
Ouch.
But you do make the ground safely, and with that, the ogre crashes across the field in a blind rage, raises the trunk-like mallet, and slams it towards the tower that you are all currently on. It's a
gosh.
critical hit. Oh, and you
Oh
guys can see that.
My God.
Oh, I'm gonna have to change
Yep.
that. Well, we'll leave it for
Now
now
you can
because
see
it
your
adds
rolls.
to the. I think it adds to the
Oh.
drama. But you guys saw that, so with amazing ferocity, the ogre overhead
Jesus.
slams this literal tied together trunk of a great maul, almost the entire size of the pillar that holds the tower that you're standing on itself. And as it crashes into the thin dried wood and the weak hemp that ties and binds it all together, that's 20 damage. As it crashes into it, splits almost immediately, and you feel the flat platform begin to tilt inward towards the ogre and the very area that you worked so hard to flee. I will need everyone on the tower, which is everyone except for Cloud at this point, to roll a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Ooh, nice.
Dex.
I did not just fall off the tower this
That's right.
time.
As you, Glitterbomb, you grab the
Just a
edge of the tower. You manage to hold yourself fast. Drogon and Muse on the edge of the tower begin to slip backwards and fall. As your hands, Drogon, those of you on the platform, the last thing you see are the gauntleted hands of Drogon sliding across the bark of the wood, drawing ribbons of it across until slips off the edge. Muse
Muse
reaches
is gonna
for
burn his
him.
inspiration.
Okay. Muse, as you drive low to reach for Drogon as he's falling from the edge.
Inspiration. I'm going to command Friend Rope to try and grab Drogon and me and basically launch us over the edge.
Okay.
Tell me what roll I need to make for that.
Give me 1 sec, because there are 2 others who have to go. Devin has also failed.
Oh,
No.
this is going to be a short rescue.
Pio has also failed her roll.
Oh no.
As the 4 of you begin to slide and the tower begins to topple, Muse, I will give you your roll with advantage. You're using your inspiration, and you do have the rope to command, so I'll give you advantage on your roll to save for
My-
dexterity.
Could I make it with Arcana instead?
Not in this case.
Worth a shot.
A critical result on your save, so I will let you perform 1 action, and Glitter, you're also the only one on the tower. You'll have an action available as well.
Okay.
Sorry, still on Muse. Go for it.
Okay.
So with my critical success, tell me if I'm allowed to pull this one off, because I'm basically pulling this out of thin air. Basically, I'm going to instruct Friend Rope to loop around everyone still up there and pull us off towards freedom.
Okay, give me an Arcana check. It's gonna be extremely tricky.
Ooh.
Oh.
And with that, the rope coils quickly, almost in midair, as the last few of your companions, Pio, Drogon, and Devin, all in once sliding off. You hear the momentary as their hands collectively slide free from the platform in safety. And then all of you feel this weird ambient energy around you as Friend Rope unknots and coils around you at once. And Drogon, you dig deep with both of your hands holding the rope, pulling, and the 3 companions now harnessed in the loop of arcane hempen weave that is holding them above, as the ogre reels back and winds up with his great mallet to take a swing as if though balls on a tether. Glitterbomb, you have 1 action.
Not tetherball.
Glitterbomb, your action.
I am going to start scurrying down Friend Rope with all the tangle of people.
Okay.
I do not want to be at the top of that tower.
as Glitterbomb begins to hold the rope as well. You're not climbing down the rope though, right? Like Muse is holding the rope desperately with the assistance of friend rope, and it's holding 3 others in it right now.
You know what? There's another rope there. I'm gonna flip that
Yep.
rope over the line
Yep.
and start climbing down the other
Start
rope.
climbing down. Okay, sure.
Yep.
Good stuff. Effortlessly, you slide down the rope. I won't make you roll for that before your feet touch the ground, and you see Cloud there as well. You guys are just kind of watching this about 20 feet above you with a broken view as the tower pitches and heaves.
And as soon as I'm on the ground, I'm going to kind of try to maneuver the rope over to where others can reach it so they can start getting down too.
Okay, you pull the rope tight and just make it even and stable so that your friends, presumably, if they make it out of this, can make their way down the other side as well. Drogan, Pio, and Devin are bound. Cloud, your turn.
I don't know what to do.
Are we on the wrong side of the wall?
You are at this point. You're
Oh,
just dangling
jeez.
there.
Of course we are.
And
But you're very close to it.
Okay, good.
I sort of pull it, bomb and say, "Back up, back up!"
Okay, we're
It's
pulling
gonna
on the rope.
and knock it down.
Sure.
And
As-
I start to back away from the wall.
Okay. Are you pulling the rope, Glitterbomb? He's pulling
I'm-
the rope that's
yeah,
attached
I'm-
to the tower?
Yeah, I'm not letting go. I will start backing up, but more like kind of pulling on the rope while I'm at it.
Okay.
Because I'm
I'll give
hoping
you
that'll help.
I'll give you and Cloud if you both work together to pull the rope and try and right or stabilize the platform. I'll give you
Oh, okay. Yeah.
either
yeah.
one of you an athletics check with advantage. Your choice.
Gotta be Cloud.
Okay. Are you sure the way I'm rolling? I don't know.
As you both wrap your hands collectively, all 4 hands around the rope, and you
21.
begin to dig deep into the ground as it pulls you forward. You're trying desperately to stabilize the tower. Amazingly, it seems to right ever so slightly, but it begins to pull you into the ground where your feet are dragging deep grooves into the soft soil. I'm going to check myself here because realistically I should give those of you who are tethered by the rope your turns. So we will go back to Drogan. Your turn.
Oh.
Is you're just kind of tethered by this rope dangling, and this angry ogre now is like winding up with this massive mallet like 5 feet from your face. You can smell the stank on him.
Can I swing at him with my hammer?
Yeah, you're gonna swing at him.
Can I swing back at him with my hammer then?
Yeah, you could. I'm gonna give you disadvantage at this one because you're kind of dangling, but you're definitely within range to hit him.
If I'm too off balance to do that, I will cast Word of Radiance.
Okay, I'm still gonna say you're gonna get. Oh, it's a con save, right?
It's a save, yeah.
For him,
It's
okay.
the con save. He's probably good. He's
Right. The only thing that ogres do well is Constitution. Oh, and Strength, of course.
should be a
He fails,
13.
as you can see.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
your
It should be a
con save
13.
should be 13? Okay.
Yeah,
He still
he
fails.
still All right, I glow with Word of Radiance and try and blind him with the divine light of Doug Marin.
Okay, he takes 2. And what are the effects of Word of Radiance?
That's it. It's each creature of their choice that you can see within range must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage.
Okay, as this radiant light just erupts from your hands, he pauses for a moment, but then again brings the large maul around, and that will take us to Pio, who's going to take her turn to, what are you, crazy? And she turns around and she begins to scramble up the rope. So she'll get another, oops, that's not what I wanted. She'll get another dex save, but she doesn't seem to, oh no, it's athletics, my bad, excuse me. As she seems to be like kind of awkwardly ambling in the rope. It actually is giving you a little bit more trouble, but she doesn't seem to make any headway with it. Devin, on the other hand, manages to scramble up, kick his legs over, nod at you, Muse, and then he turns around and immediately starts trying to help you pull at the rope to get the other 2 back up onto the platform. And almost in slow motion, you can see the anger in the ogre's face as that great tree-like maul comes swinging around towards Drogon and Pio dangling from the rope. And that is a 21 to hit. And Pio is closest. As the maul slams into both of you, Pio then into Drogon as she's turning around, actually manages to buffer you a little bit from the blow as the maul slams into both of you. You swing heavily in the rope as it swings to and fro. I'm going to need you and Pio to roll a dexterity saving throw. I'll give you advantage since Devin and Muse are trying to help you up. But first, we need to see what damage Pio is going to suffer.
A lot.
Pio squelches in pain as you swing violently against the platform. That one almost did me in, boss. She looks up at you, desperately reaching for you, Muse.
Let's talk more running.
Pull us up.
And she will save. As Drogon and Pio both desperately manage to hang on as the Great Maul swings through its arc and slams along the ground. The ogre lifts it up again overhead and begins to crash down towards you. Muse.
I look at Devin. Okay, question.
Yeah.
Pio and Drogon
I
are
thought you were
both
asking Devin.
successfully bound by the rope, right?
They are, yeah. They're pretty
Okay.
well in there, and they're hanging on.
I'm going to... Muse is going to say another prayer to Lorelei to help him save his dang friends. I look to Devin. Ever seen a teeter-totter when you were a younger friend?
I believe so. What are you driving at, friend?
Well,
Huh? Oh, did you freeze?
Oh
No.
no.
No!
Hell no.
We're never going to know what the teeter-totter plan was.
We'll never know what a teeter-totter is. Exactly.
The teeter-totter plan. We are
Devin looks
we are
at you
in
and
the
says,
playground right now.
"Speak, man. Speak. What is it?"
Tetherball, teeter-totter.
What's the teeter-totter plan?
What's the teeter-totter plan? Oh, no.
We
Muse is
survived.
frozen in time.
We survived only to
Ah.
die on the teeter-totter.
I'm going to finish the thought for him. It's like, you know when you lean back with all your might and I don't have a Muse. And then it's going to launch him, and that's my plan. It's so not a good Muse.
I think his plan was to jump off the end of it. Jump off the other side. Pull us up that way.
I'm gonna hold off on making that decision. That is a level of taking away player agency that I don't want to mess with. But there he goes, and there goes all of our alignment with our videos. All right, stick with us, gang. We got a little bit of technical difficulty on the way. That's all right, though. We've handled this kind of thing before. We've beaten a ravaging, raging goblin berserker. We have thwarted the attempts of an ogre on our person. I think we can easily deal with some tech goblins. And with that, Muse has returned. So, there, I just like barely filled the space. Welcome back.
sorry.
What was about the teeter-totter?
Devin looks to you and says, "Don't keep me in suspense, man. What about the teeter-totters?"
Well, friend, sorry for the fall. I basically grab Devin, hold on to the rope. I give the command to the rope to basically follow me. I fall off the back of the tower and pull everyone with us over.
Okay. As you all lean back with all your might, Devin following you, pulled by Muse, and the rope begins to engage. Its arcanic tightness beginning to form around Drogon. Close the space where Devin once was. Wrap around Pio. She releases a small gasp as the ogre crashes down with his mallet, and the tower begins to rack and creak. With Glitterbomb and Cloud pulling on the line on the other side, Impossibly, as you both look at one another, it seems as though you've just pulled this tower back towards you. The rope in your hand goes slack as you look up, and the tower begins to crash back towards you. Go ahead and roll I'm going to give you Arcana with advantage because strength doesn't seem right. This is more rope work. Muse, as the rope answers your beck and call, go ahead and give me an athletics with advantage.
And rope.
Holy shnikey.
Oh.
There you go. As with a deafening crack, thunderous, resonating throughout the entire camp, the pole holding the tower gives way and falls with a lot of those of your companions remaining on the top. Cloud and Glitter Bomb, you dive to the side just in time as it crashes thick on the ground, and I will need everyone on or tethered to the tower to give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Here we go again.
I'd like to say, though, with this genius plan of mine, I'm ending up on the other side of the tower this time.
Yes. You're all on the other side of the tower. I'm also going to give you inspiration for that play. I would have given it to you for your kill earlier, but you already had it. So it's back in your pocket now. Let me see. Drogon, you will take 3 damage. Muse, you will take 7 damage. Pio saves. Sorry, give me a second here. Yes, Pio save. Pio will take 3 damage. Devin will take 3 damage. Pio lands hard on the ground. She's looking extremely rough as she crashes on the other side, but she is conscious. And that's everyone,
I'm to
right?
go.
That's everyone.
Yep.
As you smash down and you see the thick hands of the ogre reaching over the now V-shaped breach in the wall that hangs about 10 feet above you. Now this enormous gap forming in the protective wall of the fort, and the shambles, the crashing remnants of the tower splintered across the ground as you shake yourselves and come to being. That will take us to Drogon.
Are Pio and I on top of the tower still, or did we?
No, you guys are all on the ground
Oh,
now. The tower has fallen, crashed, and shattered into splinters across the ground. The gap that's left there in the wall where the tower and the pole were once moored is now just framing the angry, seething face of the ogre that's trying to climb out now over the 10-foot half of the wall that remains.
On your feet, everyone. Head to the woods.
Okay. Making a
And I
beeline
will
for the
start
woods.
Pushing people that way.
All right, as you direct everyone, point to the wood feature that embraces this area. It's about 25 feet away. As Drogon begins to go into a blind run, Pio hobbles after you, but before time begins to pick up speed, and she's scrambling behind you as quickly as she can. Glitter Bomb, over to you.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm probably just I'm gonna grab Pio's hand and kind of drag her along with me, kind of chirping encouragement as we go. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to as I'm running, I am going to have a firebolt, the cantrip firebolt, ready in case the ogre does start to follow.
Okay. So you're moving 30 feet, and you're going to try to hold concentration on that spell, just in case he follows you?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's just a cantrip, so just that's all I can do at this point.
Gotcha. As Pio scrambles behind, she's rushing to keep pace with you and Drogon. Yep. Go ahead. All good?
All good. That's all I'm doing.
All right. Cloud.
Does anybody have Devin at this point, or?
Yeah, sorry. Devin is moving with Muse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that just leaves me.
I mean,
Okay.
you can
I am
take him
going-
if you want. He just basically attaches to your character at this point.
I call
Well,
it to come. Get him out of here.
Yeah, well, okay. If Devin's right there, I'm gonna actually grab him and throw him over my shoulder
Oh, okay. All right.
and carry him out.
All right. Go ahead
Just
and
because-
roll.
I know he's probably weak, and
Yeah, roll
wanna
your
get outta here.
athletics check for me.
okay. Being all heroic, watch me fail.
He's on the
No.
ground, having recovered from this earth-shattering fall from the tower above. As he reaches up and he
God,
takes your
seriously?
hand, you try to throw him over your shoulder, but you kind of put your shoulder into his gut. He reaches his hand and takes it, and he watches you as you just, and he puts his hand on your shoulder. He says, "You've done enough, friend. I can walk." A crash against the walls. The ogre. He says, let's go. And he actually takes your hand and begins to rush towards the woods.
Nice. He's gonna rescue me now. That's so cute.
He's pulling you along into the woods, as if that's your intended destination, Cloud. But he's running.
Yes, I was just gonna run really fast. That's all. But now I'm just gonna run as fast as he runs.
Yeah, out of politeness, you just kind of let him take the lead. He's an actor, right?
Yeah, I'm
he's gotta-
embarrassed.
yeah.
I do the embarrassed cat thing. Like I meant to do that so you would feel better.
Just kind of like
Okay.
hastily preen along the way, just to try and distract
like-
from it. Rage preening. All right, as
Exactly.
Cloud makes her way into the woods. It's the ogre's turn. And,
Quick question.
Yeah.
Before the fall, and my computer completely locked up.
Yes.
I still had a bonus action. Can I use that bonus action still?
I'm gonna say because of the way you pulled the rope together and I gave you that, and then you basically
Fair
rode a
enough.
falling tower to the ground. I will say that you're not prone. I'll give you that. So as you push yourself to your knees, your companions all escaping towards the trees, you take a couple of slow steps back as this ogre begins to crash through the wall. And he pushes through to try and break through the last of the wall as it crashes forward towards you. Muse, you get your arm up to shield some of the splintering wood as it crashes towards you, and he reaches over the wall with his great maul, slamming at you as best he can, but you'll get 2/3 cover here, so I'll give you +5 to your armor class. For the awkward angle that the ogre's coming at you with, and he rolls a 12 to hit.
Horrible miss.
As you just dodge back deftly, your senses snap too, and you dodge back as the great maul crashes into the ground, spewing dirt and rock upwards. You step back as he begins to try and crawl through the space that he's made, and that'll bring us to your turn.
A good tiefling knows when it's a good time to run like heck. I'm gonna run like heck. Full dash run for the woods.
All right, and with that, the remaining, those of you remaining between the wall and the woods hurriedly make your way in a blind run, and before long, the embrace of the Cormanthor wraps around you. You don't even look back as you hear the whip of arrows chasing you from those tower archers who still remain as they desperately try to draw a bead on you, but they helplessly they helplessly kind of crash into the trees, sending chunks of bark. The only danger that you face now is you run deeper and deeper into the Cormanthor, and relative safely for the time being. The chorus and echoes of angry goblins' screeches, screams, and the ogre emanating into the late evening now, as they must turn their attention towards facing the disappointment and whatever backlash follows to their villainous mistress. You run for what seems like hours, not knowing at all how far or how many feet or miles you've put between you and the goblin fort, until Devin finally stops, leans against a tree. I must wait, friends.
I pull up as well, out of breath, and scratches from branches all over my arms and shins. Do you think we lost them?
I straight up collapse on the ground. And at this point, I don't care.
Pio also stumbles to her knees, crawling along the rocks, now suddenly aware of a couple of very deep-looking wounds that are bleeding through her fingers, down her trousers, onto the ground.
Oh, hells. Drogon.
She looks pale, especially for a goblin. Muse, as she looks at you, she says, "I don't know if I can make it, boss." She leans
You're going to
back.
get sauced yet.
Yo. I
Don't worry.
sit down next to her and put my arm around her. You'll
Thanks.
be okay. You
She
stuck with
shudders.
us. You did it. You stuck with us.
Did we make it? And she looks over at the fort, and you can see now just small dots moving along the forest line, but you do see the plumage of burning smoke as they, with torches bared, begin to spill out into the fort, starting to scan and survey the valley land that exists in the space about 120 feet between you and the fort walls now. I can hold them off. They might still think I'm one of them. And she tries to move.
Blood Scars ain't leaving one of their own.
Yeah, that's us. And she points to the red scarf around her neck. I didn't leave you. I didn't leave you, boss. I don't want to be an actor anyway.
You're good. We're getting out of here. I look to Drogon. Is there anything you can do to help patch her up?
I'm afraid I'm used up today. I'm spent. I can try and
Can't
help her a little, and
we
I'll make
try
a
to
medicine
patch
check
her?
I'll make a medicine check to see if I can help her a little bit.
Okay, with all of you gathered around, I'll give you advantage on the check as you gather around Pio. Muse, you wrap your arms around the severe wound that gashes along her rib cage, the blood seeping through your hands. You apply some pressure to staunch the flow, and Drogon, you unravel a med kit, a medical pack, as you begin to apply bandaging and a small poultice that comes from parched, churned leaves. You draw some water from your skin to make it into a fine paste, and you press it into the wound. It stings a little, but I suppose better than before. And after a few moments, you begin to wrap bandaging around her chest that seems to be cauterizing the wound, at least temporarily. And she just shakily stands to her feet, leaning against the tree. She says, "All right, I think I can keep going."
Good. You let me know if we need to patch you up anymore. All right.
Of course. Yeah. And you can hear the screams of goblin parties, now these raiding parties beginning to emanate from the fort as they search the fields for you, echoing on the darkening winds around the Cormanthor.
We best keep moving.
Devin nods. Yeah,
Um,
I think that's best.
I'm gonna look at my companions and try to decide who's biggest, and I'm guessing guessing that Drogon looks like he's got the most muscle considering his armor. I'm just gonna kind of shake his shoulder like, Carrie,
Yeah.
and point at Pio.
Okay. And I gesture for her to hop on my back. And
Okay. She starts to scramble up. Go ahead and roll an athletics check for me.
All right.
She wraps her leg around you and starts to climb up your back. You feel her small goblin arms wrap around your chest. She says, "Are you okay?"
Hang on tight.
"All right. You got it." And you hear her shallow breathing in your ear as you turn your attention back towards the deepened woods of the Cormanthor.
Start trudging off into the woods after the group.
Okay.
Do you guys think that the actors will be okay, and the others? Do you think they'll do anything to them?
Have horses too fast.
Pio
Is there-
turns and says, "Those fools, they made their way out through that secret hatch. They didn't waste any time. And they're gone."
They
If they're
Got
smart,
out.
they're far from here now.
Yeah. The dwarf tried to... She kind of checks herself as she's bouncing a little bit on Drogon's back. She's, "They're no friends of ours. But they're gone."
okay.
We ain't no position to help them anyway, so we best get moving. I think we're all running out of tricks to pull at this point.
Cloud, can you find us a place to hide tonight? You know these woods.
Sure, yep.
With renewed
I
vigor,
sure can.
you turn your attention back to your fleeing, the retreat deeper into the Cormanthor. And after about 20 minutes, actually, Cloud, I'm going to get you to give me a survival check. As you race forward, we'll just give you regular because you're moving at quite a pace. The stress is on. But you
Nothing other
immediately
than
tune in to the forest around you. You seem to remember these pathways as you carve a straight groove along the cliffside underneath the overlook where you first began this journey, where you cast your gaze upon the goblin fort before any of this began. You begin to rush, the rest of you now having to pick up pace to keep up with the feline grace of Cloud as she carves through the trees, dodging from trunk to trunk in the long underlying foliage. And after at least 20-30 minutes of a straight outward blaze through the valley, you begin to see the familiar curve of the dirt road that brought you down here on Friggan's wagon barely a day ago, as it begins to snake upwards and out of sight of the valley. Your escape is nigh, as you all begin to dig deep into those last moments of adrenaline that course through your veins, your heart's pumping, and one by one, in a line-like fashion, you breach through the woods into the road that cascades upwards and out of view through the overlook. The screams of the goblins fall behind you. The scent of burnt straw and hay, the torch fires that chased you into the woods from the fort, long gone. And by some miracle, the sounds of woodlands begin to return around you, the chirping of birds, as though the Cormanthor itself has no idea what you've endured.
I let Theo down from my back.
She pats you on the
collapsed
scale
in a
chest.
exhausted heap.
She kneels next to you, remembering what you did for her. She just kind of puts her hand under your neck. "Are you okay?" She begins to pull some of the bandage away, a clean part, and soak it in her water skin, pressing it against your neck. "One good turn. You can't fall on us now."
Thank you, friend.
She looks
This is-
desperately up to the rest of you.
Appreciate it.
I can't even believe that just happened. Are you okay?
Devin wipes the sweat and dirt from his brow with an otherwise fine silk sleeve of his blousements, and looks around and says, I can't even believe this is real. We're not there yet, but we're a hell of a lot farther from that place." And he spits on the dirt behind him. "Gods be damned, those goblins." I wish
Devin, what about the Nightingale? Who's this this one that wanted you? Why did she want you?
Yeah, did you talk to her?
No. In the chaos of everything, I'd almost forgotten about her. In fact, she is definitely the mastermind behind whatever has happened there, certainly more so than any of the goblins or other creatures that exist down there. I
But
don't
why
know much
you?
about her. Oh. You know, I hadn't even had a moment of clarity to think on it. My family is wealthy. I suppose we have money. I don't know. I know as little as to why they chose me as to why you're here to my rescue, other than Gildas, of course. Gildas. His eyes stare blankly through you. My love.
You'll see him. You'll see him. We'll get you there.
He's fine. He's fine, lad. A little worse for wear, but we
Right.
left him in good shape.
Perhaps with a little more clarity, I can think more on anything I might remember of the last few days. I just remember the goblins, their stinking claws, they didn't hurt me, but
You must be hungry?
famished. Yes.
What do we have? We hunt, or what can we give him?
As you gather in a small alcove somewhere between the forest valley below and the road that brought you there in the thicket of the Cormanthor, you begin to take stock of what you might have to offer. Devin, now inspired by the thought of food, turns eagerly towards you. Yes, anything. I'm really not fussy. In fact, I'd almost forgotten my stomach until you mentioned it. Ugh.
I very slowly, very painfully get to my feet, and I pull a couple pieces of jerky out of my pack. I give one to Pio, I offer the rest to the party, and I just kind of collapse against a tree.
Thanks. She does the same, and she just kind of squirrels up next to you with her legs folded. Muse smiles and nods to you. She hungrily gnaws at the dried meat. Devin nods gracefully as well, and he begins to start to chew and soften it.
As the rest of the party kind of takes inventory, I look at the last word, and I'm still a little baffled that it managed to pull out one heck of a save this time. And part of me does wonder if Lorelei actually heard something this time.
You did good. I didn't think we were going to make it out of there either.
Muse,
You all did good.
I think you saved us.
Definitely saved.
Just helping settle up old debts, friends. I called out to a friend of mine, and apparently she heard something because the last word ain't never fired that strong before.
I'm gonna kind of give a happy little chirp and go up to Muse and just kind of pet your head.
I
Reach
kind of
up,
give
pet your head.
I give a half smile and go, hey, no hurting you while I'm still drawing breath.
And I'm gonna kind of start looking for berries to give a little more flavor to what we're eating.
Do you think that it would be safe for us to have a small fire? I can maybe try to find something.
Let's not risk it. I think I'm
Oh, well. Dwarfs haven't changed, I see. They can sleep anywhere.
Wait, Pio, you had food. Do you have anything left?
She looks at the jerky that she's already eaten. I might have some things, and she begins to rummage around in a pouch at her belt. Probably not as good as this, so 1 second. She puts it in her teeth. I've got a little bit of, I think that's squirrel meat, some beans, or are they shells? I don't know.
Okay.
Some kind of meat. And she just holds the half-chewed jerky out towards you. It's
No,
probably
it's
better.
okay. I thought there was some food left over from the camp. That's okay.
She reaches towards you with the pouch. Says, "You're welcome to it." I don't remember what it is.
No, it's okay. Okay.
Okay. Standing offer. And she ties it to her belt. She seems to she lies back against the tree and closes her eyes for a moment as well. Seems to be taking some rest. Drogon is Drogon full on like passed out?
Yeah, I think Drogon just is just on his back and snoring away. Gone logs.
Dreaming of a better time. Drogon's out cold. Pio seems to be just taking the moment to rest as well. Devin looks around to you and says, Is it safe here for a moment at least?
I will keep watch. You get some sleep.
Okay. Evening
And I
begins
climb up
to...
a tree and keep an eye out.
Sure. Evening begins to set on. The darkness, of course, coming early in the Cormanthor as this standing embrace of trees easily blots out the sun, no matter where her arc over the late day sky seems to be. The cool shade beginning to wash over you, and just ever so lightly, small beams of light begin to pierce through the upper foliage of the deep Cormanthor, but you can tell it's drawing late, as suddenly the wear of the encounter and the lateness of the day begins to dab heaviness across your eyelids.
Well, but was I able to find any berries in my search?
Sorry, go ahead and roll me a survival check, please. I missed that glitter, but as you start to look around, it seems mostly just like thistles, dead nettles. There's nothing really seems to be bearing fruit in this area. As you return to the small pocket where your companions are.
Darn. Right, so I will kind of just settle myself in a nice cozy spot and turn to Cloud in the tree. Wake when sleepy.
Oops.
Cloud, wake when sleepy.
Okay. Yeah, you go sleep.
Okay. And I'll just fluff
Okay.
off a little bit for warmth and go to sleep.
As you curl up in this small alcove lined with nettles and soft, dried forest flooring, Devin looks at you, Muse, and says, "Well, I guess safe or no. Seems to be the spot of choice. Will we get the full night?"
I've
Well,
given best take a little bit of rest now that you're free, friend.
as you're talking, he slowly removes his outer tunic, underneath just a cream-colored simple shirt with a leather lace drawstring. He begins to coil it up. He says, "Well, if you saw my last lodgings, this will look like a king's haven."
I kind of crack a grin and go, "Well, I've slept in worse inns, but ain't nothing wrong with a nice outdoor nap."
I certainly am in no position to complain. And he rolls up the makeshift bedroll under his head, turns to you, and you feel his hand on your wrist. He just says, "Thank you, friend." And before his
Not worth
head hits
mentioning,
the
friend.
makeshift pillow, sleep takes him. Cloud on the perch above, surveying the trees and the forest setting with eyes that are doubly focused in her feline form. Your own tiefling dark vision beginning to glide in and refocus as the last waning hours of day over Cormanthor turn to early night. And you're the only one who is still awake aside from Cloud.
I'm gonna just do some minor maintenance to the last word and check the shotgun since I put both through their paces today.
Okay. All right. And with that, evening falls over the companions as a cool rush of night wind begins to course through the trees, slowly bending the branches. The swallows and the calls of forestland birds begin to turn to crickets and the chirping of nocturnal insects before they too eventually become quiet. Cloud, your first watch goes unfettered. Muse, you don't even know when it happened, but sleep eventually takes you and you're off in some faraway land dreaming. Cloud, your eyes begin to grow heavy somewhere later in the dead of night. The star is now desperately fighting to peek through the trees and illuminate whatever it can with the moon's glow, just casting moments of silvery light shafts.
I hold on as long as I can, but when I figure I can't, just gonna be dangerous to keep trying, I'll wake up Glitter Bomb.
Okay. Just in that moment where your eyes are starting to fall closed, you just, gonna rest them for a moment, but you know the danger that comes with that. So without risking it, Glitter Bomb, before long, you feel a slight brush on your wings. You're jerked into consciousness. This cloud looks over you.
Sorry, I wanted to let you sleep, but I can stay awake.
Need sleep too. You sleep now. I watch. And I'll kind of offer my now warmed up spot on the ground.
I'll take it.
And I'm climbing up the tree to get a better view of what's around too, where Cloud was sitting earlier.
Perfect. It's Glitter and Cloud trade places. Yeah.
As you're wandering, as you're heading away, I quickly reach out and grab a hold of you just for a second and say, "We're friends. We have friends."
I give a big beaky grin and a happy chirp. Yes, friends. Friends good.
Yeah, they are. And I curl up and go to sleep.
I'll
Before
finish climbing
long.
up the tree and start my watch.
Finally allowing yourself to join your companions in rest, Cloud, sleep takes you and you go into a deep, deep slumber to shake off the wear of the encounter the days before and prepare for the days to come. Glitterbomb, is here looking out over the treetops from your perch, now having inherited the spot from Cloud. Do you have dark vision?
I don't believe I do.
Okay. So it's very dark. And but as you just kind of listen, you start to tune in more to the sounds and the vibe of the forest around you, doing what you can to reach out with those senses that are available to you, and at the same time trying to hone them, not really trusting your vision as obscured and reduced as it is here. You tune in more to the sounds, the sensations, and the nature of the forest. Regardless of whether found or not, your watch passes without incident. And before long, as if though all of this was but a simple dream, the gray morning light of dawn begins to erupt like fire through the Cormanthor, and a small rising mist begins to emanate from the wet ground, superheated by the days before. Glitterbomb, your watch has ended. You've all achieved a long rest, so Ryan, you won't have to worry about the hit dice. Bless you.
Nice.
Yeah, so you'll hang on to that as the small makeshift camp begins to stir. Pio snorts, awake, rubbing her large bulbous eyes with the heel of her hand. She finds the leftover jerky that have fallen out of her hand in her slumber, and she begins to... I think it's even better. She nudges you, Muse, awake as you feel the elbow in your ribs and still trying to shake off the confusion of early wakedness. She just kind of salutes you with the rest of the jerky.
I give her kind of a salute back and go, it's always better if it has a little bit of time to settle, right?
Yeah.
I look at her injuries. You good?
Much better, thanks. A little sore. It stopped leaking.
Congratulations, you got the blood scars and knack of being hard to kill.
All right. Meant to be, I guess. And she tightens. She just starts to redo the knot on her blood scarf around her neck.
Meanwhile, I am climbing down from the tree and kind of just gently trying to wake Cloud, just kind of pet on the head.
Big stretch. Morning.
Time.
Welcome back.
We made it. You got out.
Yes.
It's morning. We're all here.
We are okay.
Being that
He's
hard
in
to
a
kill.
cage. That's good.
Devin's
Cages
eyes
are bad.
slowly begin to open as he rolls over and jerks awake for a moment and then feels the ground. Looks around at you and just quietly nods. Begins to push himself over to his knees, unfurl his tunics. And then you hear the raucous snoring as Drogon is still turning on the ground, seemingly having barely moved from the night before.
Not an inch. Not even.
Just still splayed out in his full splint mail.
I give Drogon a nudge. Hey, best be waking up.
Just light the fires. Get it going. Okay. Well, we're we're alive.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe we can try to eat something.
yes. Yeah, that would be wonderful. I'm going to take a minute here. Let me say my prayers and refocus, and then let's be on our way. And I wander off a little bit secluded. And I pull out some of my tools, a small like jeweler's hammer and a few things, and start tinkering away at something.
Okay. From elsewhere in the forest, from the direction that Drogon left, you just hear the odd like tink, tink.
I'm gonna try to find a rabbit or something. Wander off and see if I
Okay.
can catch something.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm looking for bugs, I guess.
You guys start a fire, okay? Try to get something.
Easy
Devin.
work, friend. I'll handle that.
Devin moves over to you and says, "Is there anything I can do to help? You just tell me what you need." And he starts to follow you.
Let's just relax for now, friend. You had the worst trip of all of us.
All right. I do mean to help as best I can, however, so you just say the
Got any-
word.
You got any skill with meds?
I'm afraid the best I can offer you is a jaunty tune and maybe an entertaining story. But I don't know much of entertaining stories.
Then you're fine, friend. You all had the worst of the run of all of us, so just take her easy.
Well, I intend to pay that debt, my friend, but I will. Thank you. And he just thinks better
Find a
on
tavern with ale. Be more than happy to collect at that time.
it. I will make that available, my friend. Once we're in Dampshire, my town is yours. And he just leans up against the tree and kind of looks at Pio inquisitively for a minute, smirks, and just softly shakes his head and rests back against the leaning oak.
I'm gathering wood to kind of make the fire. I do look at Devin and actually, that'd be best discussing, friend. How's Damshire feeling about goblins?
He just kind of leans over and looks at you as you kind of work your way around the perimeter of the campsite, picking up kindling and broken branches. He says, I'm sorry, what? Forgive me.
Our friend here is part of us. She deserves to be respected the same as the rest of us for when we return to Damshire.
Absolutely. I certainly carry no lingering feelings of your brethren, we'll say. I'm quite grateful to you, madam. And he kind of bows low, and Pio just like looks widely past him over to you, Muse, and
Let's look, we be doing something right.
yeah, you're welcome. And she bows low too. She tries to get like lower than him, and he just smiles. He says, trust that my bewilderment is not ill-gotten. This is a new friendship for me. And he reaches out for her hand. She just kind of slowly puts her hand forward. Yeah, this is more than I've hung around with non-goblins too. I like it. It's good. They just slowly shake as they begin to banter back and forth.
I've been knowing what it's like to be on the outside of a town. I want to make sure she doesn't get that treatment.
Oh, I take your meaning, my friend. No. New friend. And he looks at Pio. He says, you are welcome anywhere in these realms that I am. Rest assured, no one will bother you. My promise. And he looks to you, Muse, with the last words.
All right, respectable of you.
No pun intended. And Cloud and Glitter, I'll get you both to roll a survival check for me, please.
Bring home the bacon.
Okay.
Hey, 19.
All right. Good stuff. As you start on the same journey before you split off momentarily, Glitterbomb, your sense is peeking into in that like kind of lens-like vision, zeroing in on insects. You managed to grab a couple out of the air, and you managed to pull a couple of small beetles from dew-born leaves that lean in the early morning of the Cormanthor. Meanwhile, Cloud, you begin to stalk through the low branches and the ferns that lean, using them to obscure your approach into a small den that you begin to track, and you do see small symbols of life. A small pile of dung, very round and tiny. It definitely seems rabbit-like. Small tracks that begin to course through the woods, and then suddenly the smell, the unmistakable scent of hair, as in H-A-R-E, hair, the skin and the dung that follows. It's that odd kind of straw-like scent. You follow it until it gets stronger, and then between the ferns, as you part them ever so gracefully, roll a stealth check for me, please.
Oh my god.
As you lurch forward, the hair just deftly skips away into the bush. Just apparently better at hunting goblins right now than hunting small game as it darts off. But you do you want to pursue it? Okay, roll another survival check for me. Drogon.
An agility to catch up.
As the Cormanthor
No.
begins to create this embrace around you, shutting out the sounds, you close your eyes as you begin to methodically just tick away at the metals in your hands, sinking yourself deep into the knowledge and the comfort of the metalwork that you know, channeling the will of your god in this ancient practice through it. What are you doing?
I'm actually using my Blessing of the Forge ability.
Okay.
And crafting a copy of Muse's lockpicking tools, but in the shape of kind of a skeleton key. And then I slip them onto slip a leather strap through them, just necklace size.
Okay.
And I'll head back and join the group.
Sure. Any significant markings on the key as you begin to just, between the small hammers and the jeweler's tools and the will of your god, the metal begins to shape like butter in your hands?
No, not necessarily significant. I used a couple of copper pieces to make them, so they're made out of copper.
Okay, gotcha. As the amber metals begin to bend and weave with one another and form teeth that look like they could almost fit just about anything, or at least make the manipulation of those types of mechanisms more fluid in your hands. And Cloud, elsewhere in the forest, you hear the skittering, you stop, knowing the flub, and you just tune into the sounds of the hare or jackrabbit or whatever it is coursing through the branches, and when it stops, you know it's time to move, and you just slowly go back into the prowl before you see the twitching whiskers as the hare sits back, nibbling on something from the forest floor. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Oh, come on. I want to feed everybody. Hey.
This time you slowly creep up on it until you can almost feel your shadow eclipsing the light around it, and it is barely there, just within arm's reach. You reach out and feel the coarse fur in your paws as you wrap your hands around the wriggling prey. You smile broadly at the success of your hunt and make your way back to camp. Glitterbomb, you've found at least a handful of bugs, insects, caterpillars, crawlers, larvae. Looks like a fairly sizable snack from your purview. What do you do?
Well, I'm bringing them back. I probably grab the biggest leaf I can to try to contain them,
Okay.
and I'm bringing them back to camp for anybody who's keen to eat a bug.
Okay, you pad down a
Maybe
mixture of
munching a
oak leaves
couple on
and
my way
maple.
back.
You sneak a couple for yourself, for the chefs, right? The chef's portion. And you pad these insects into a ball and you just kind of wrap it around so it's tight. And you just keep it taut in your hand as you make your way back to the makeshift camp. Drogan, satisfied with the work and the finery that you're able to channel through the will of your god. You returning to camp as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, back to the campfire and
barely a few seconds apart, the three companions now reconverge on the camp as Pio stands eagerly at your return. And at this point, Muse has constructed a fairly respectable blaze that the light from which is easily swallowed in now the early morning of the Cormanthor that seems to radiate a nice heat, easily capable of cooking.
I crash back into the area, holding hair up like that and making that proud
That's so
cat
sweet.
noise. Like, I got it.
Awesome.
Showing everybody. I go and show everybody.
Very, very nice, Devin says. Very nice. Very nice, actually. Well done. Pio
And
looks and kind
so-
of like turns her nose up and be like, are we going to eat it raw? I prefer it raw.
We'll cut a sliver off for you raw if you prefer, but have you ever tried cooked rabbit?
Is it? She holds up like the last morsel of jerky. Is this like that?
A little bit tastier when it's fresh. That's salted. This is gonna be cooked.
I'll try it.
Good.
It can be
she-
pretty juicy.
Pops the last morsel of jerky in her mouth. And
Who
for the-
knows how to cut the fur off?
For the next 20 minutes or so before long, you've created a makeshift spit, and the popping sound of the roasted meat turning on the fire begins to fill the this area of the woods with a heavenly scent of cooked meats. And in that 20 minutes or so, what would you like to do?
I'm just staring at it.
I'm,
Go
I'm
anywhere. I
probably-
just sit and stare at it.
I've probably finally made my way back, and I'm offering some of my bugs.
Pio actually greets you with enthusiasm as she rushes over and begins to like look over them like a kid purveying a jar of candy, trying to figure out which ones are the best. And Devin just kind of smiles and nods. It is a different time indeed. Indeed. And he looks at you, Muse. He says, a welcome time for sure.
I'm gonna slowly walk over to Cloud to try not to scare her, and say, listen, I get the feeling that you and Cages don't get along much well.
I don't like them.
I understand. And listen, you can say what you want or not, but I appreciate the things that you and Glitter and Muse have done. I wanted to. Here, I made these. They might help you feel a little more free. And I hand her the little set of keys, key-like lockpicks on the necklace.
Oh. I put my hands up to accept them and just exactly what I'm doing right now. I just start crying. Like,
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, go ahead and take inspiration for that if you don't have a dragon.
I'll start poking at the rabbit a little bit, see if it's done, and ask Cloud. So, where were you before this? Before you were free?
oh. A lot of places, Since you are my friend, and I know you are, I can tell you that no matter where I was in chains. I belonged to somebody, and he was not good like you.
That's not right. Listen,
I didn't know it was wrong until I knew Glitter Bomb and Gildas and you. I thought everybody probably lived like that. I don't know.
that's not how we live. I'm sorry that happened to you. Listen, I wander a lot. I try not to stay in one place too long. If you and Glitter are up for moving around a bit, I wouldn't mind the company for a while. It seems like Muse is off on something. I'd love to learn more about what he can do as well. I'm just saying that I think maybe we should stick together for a while.
I think I would like that.
Well, yeah. See what Glitter thinks, and let's get back to Dumbshire.
I'm just kind of peeking around something because I'm hearing my name.
And Pio's like looking over his shoulder, snacking on like some kind of crunchy bug. Miazu
I'm
picked
handing
this up
Pio
too as
another
you're
bug
working.
and
She
crunching
just
on one
takes it.
myself.
And we're kind of watching the conversation and snacking on bugs.
As I see Glitter leaning over, I'm just flustered a little bit. I just say, I've spent enough nights on the road alone. I wouldn't mind having some company for a while. If the four of you are up for it.
I will.
You don't ever have to be alone. You don't ever have to be alone, as long as I have anything to say about it.
Well, all right
And I
then.
I keep looking at you. I haven't really done anything with the keys. I'm still looking at them, holding them like they might break. I'm looking up at you and never given me a gift before. This is a gift, right? That's what that is.
Aye, yes.
I will. It's of it.
Well, you're welcome. It's nothing really.
Oh, it's everything. It's everything.
Through crunchy.
Yes, well.
Sorry, go ahead.
This crunchy Pio so
Pio says, "Blood scarves stick together," and she points at you, Muse.
I'm gonna give a happy chirp and nod exuberantly.
At listening to Cloud's story, I've kind of gone a little bit quieter, and I'm just kind of off to the side and got enough things to work off of my ledger. I've been more than happy to sign on with y'all for a bit.
We have flock.
A flock.
I guess we do.
That. Or a flock.
A flock. It's good.
Fires, Devin says, breaking the silence. He turns over his shoulder. Fires in the valley.
The hells?
He just nods down, and they're on the move again.
All right. We best do what we can to get moving then, friends.
Okay, is Is the meat done cooking?
Yeah, it's reached a good sear now.
Okay, let's cut up air as much as we can, and then we'll go.
I'll give you that presumably through the conversation. The meat had finished. You've started snacking on it. And Pia says, "I got this one." And she begins to wrap up the remaining meats in a rough hempen fold from her pouch and begins to stuff it in. That was good.
So
You're right. Maybe
yeah.
cooked meat from now on.
I'm gonna toss the last couple bugs in my mouth and
Those are good too. I'm not fully converted. She begins to tie it.
Raw
the
has
remaining
its
meats.
place. Raw has its place.
That's right. Organic. Free range jackrabbit. Devin just busies himself tying up the last of his tunics, or unfolding it rather, and trying it back on, brushing some of the dust off.
Hey, we should go before they get too close.
Let's get moving.
You kick some loose dirt over the last of the embers in the campfire, and before long it's nothing but a memory of a makeshift camp as the white smoke begins to curl up into the upper reaches of the Cormanthor beyond sight. But you're long gone, putting footfalls behind you on the road back from whence you came. And as that opened, rough stone trail begins to close in again in the narrowing Cormanthor, reminding you of the footpath backwards and the ramshackle goblin camp that you had previously seen. What's your marching order as you make your way further along the road back towards Dampshire?
I'm probably hanging out towards the middle.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Jogan leading the pack.
Otherwise, I'll fall behind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say I'm kind of probably kind of free range, but because I do like to often look around, but
Sure.
I probably stick around somewhere in the middle with Glitter Bomb.
Okay. As you kind of dart off, just off the trail ever so slightly to get different scouting vantages, you stick around the middle. Devin also decidedly takes a position in the middle of the line. Muse?
I'm going to be keeping my mouth shut for once, and I'll just bring up the rear with Pio.
Okay. Yeah, Pio stays close to you. Now the rough battle axe in hand as she... she's wielding a scimitar. She pulls a scimitar at this point. She just kind of holds it, and every now and then she whacks at a stray reed, just trying to kind of keep occupied as you all make your way snake-like through the narrowing path. And as you begin to approach, you start to see the mighty boughs of Bridge Tree that you had visited, it seems like a 10-day ago, though not really that long. And Drogan, I'll get you to make a perception check for me, please.
All right. Is Drogan paying attention? Yeah.
Yes.
He is.
I am.
As you're
Ew.
peaked to the scent of burning wood on the wind ahead, and that as you listen closely, as you begin to make your way at the head of the pack, you start to take a little bit more of like a 10-foot lead to get a better view ahead of your party in the interest of their protection, and you hear the unmistakable chittering of goblin voices ahead and to the left, just off the road, and you know that you're nearing the area where the makeshift camp was.
I call for a halt and wave everybody to stop and to be quiet.
Okay. The group collapses quickly and quietly. as
There's
Drogon
something
brings
on up ahead. See if you can scout it out. Cloud, Peel. See what's over in that camp.
Okay. I'm gonna try to stealth over and look at what's in the camp.
Okay. So as Cloud peels off and begins to course and nimbly over the ferns and the brush that lines this narrow road, go ahead and roll a stealth roll for me, please, or a stealth check, please, Cloud.
Oh, thank God.
Very nice. That will be tough to top. In
Love it.
fact,
That's a 20 and a 1.
that's a 20. Yeah, that's
I
right.
know.
A 20 and a 1. It's Christmas. Christmas come early. But Cloud, as you just sink into a low shadow, and you actually manage to get you feels like you're going underneath the nettles and the forest floor lining. As you deftly make your way towards the edge of the wood where that clearing is, you can still smell the stale dung where the horses were kept previously. And as you breach forward into that opening of the ramshackle makeshift goblin camp, let's get it out here.
I'm proving right now that cats really are mostly liquid.
That's right. You just melt into the setting. And in the center where that leaning, slapped together wooden shanty is, and the flapping leather-bound tents that surround it, you see maybe a half dozen goblins, various shapes and sizes, some of them standing around a burning bonfire in the center. They seem completely preoccupied with their current activities and completely unaware of you. You see two of them with bows slung over their shoulder, a couple that match kind of the large hulking battle axes, and one of them wearing that kind of mismatched or mixed-matched plate-ish armor that Pio seems to be wearing something similar.
Oh, shoot. I was going to
Okay.
mend Pio's armor at one point. I'll do it later.
It's
We
still
haven't had much.
punctured with
We haven't had
holes.
much time for that.
She wears the scars and the puncture marks in her plate armor like badges.
I'll watch for maybe a minute longer at most, just to see if more come, or if I can see if there's more going on here than just this group hanging around a bonfire.
Okay. As the rest of you look on from the narrowing road, Cloud has practically vanished and gone deathly silent. And for a few minutes that pass tensely, Cloud, as you just begin to monitor the camp, they move a little bit about. Two of the arrow-bound goblins retreat into one of the tents, and you hear the clattering of some kind of commotion in the tent. The one wearing the plate turns around and barks something at the other two remaining at the fire in Goblin. Do you speak Goblin?
Ew.
He says, "Watch up in about another 20 minutes or so. I'm going to get some shut-eye. You two keep an eye out." And they kind of look back and just, "Share bus." As he retreats back to the clapboard shanty, and closes the door loudly. As the other two begin to just kind of rib back and forth.
Make my way back to the group.
Okay. Cloud appears as if though out of nowhere on the road.
Poof.
They are definitely looking for something. They're on watch. There's 6 of them. One of them looks like Pio.
She says she looks at her plate. She says, "Like this? That's a
What
lieutenant.
does that mean?
That's a lieutenant. Probably there to replace the ones that we previously dispatched."
Probably should try to get around them.
I wonder if they know about me yet. Maybe I can find out what they're up to.
I think that's a good idea. We still don't know anything about this Nightingale person. If there's anyone we
Yeah.
can that might know, I think it's worth the chance.
But we need to do our best to avoid this kind of thing until we get Devin home.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let's see if we can sneak around while they're distracted, maybe.
Pio, maybe you could go talk to them. and we'll try to get around and see you on the other side.
I could do that.
Okay.
She just sheathes her scimitar. Shink. Okay.
If you don't want to, it's okay. You can say no.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. We'll keep an eye and we'll be okay, and we won't leave you.
Okay. All right. I'll give the signal if I need help.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you need help, just say, I need help. And we'll...
Yeah. Okay. I need help.
Yeah.
All right. You got it.
I think if you need help, my
herself.
guess is that, you don't have to pretend anymore.
I know. I'll scream help in regular talk, human talk, and then they won't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
She nods and kind of looks intently towards the camp. She says, all right. Wish me luck.
Stay sharp.
Sharp.
Wishes. Luck wishes.
Thanks.
I know what you can do.
She stops. What?
I have a whistle, and I hand her the whistle that I have. It's
She holds it gingerly
really
in her
loud.
hands.
Oh my gosh, where is it? Sorry.
She kind of swings around.
Signal
it.
whistle.
A what
Well,
kind
you
of
can-
whistle? Oh.
The signal whistle, just like
Oh,
that
she breathes
you'd
deep
probably
and
have if you were like,
puts her
no,
lips around
no,
it.
not now. Not now.
Oh.
If you need help,
Real
able to
loud,
hear that
huh?
anywhere.
Loud,
Okay.
loud.
All right, she pockets it. Okay,
Don't do it too often. It hurts my ears.
you got it.
If you need help.
If I need help, okay. I got this. And she starts to slowly tread off towards the camp. She pauses to give you one last look over her shoulder through the woods and brambles and then disappears into the woodlands. Devin looks around to you and says, oh, now what?
We'll sneak around the other way.
All right.
Good at sneaking?
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
That's great.
All right. What are you doing
Famous
as Pio disappears into the brush? So where are you sneaking? Like how far you've got the
Try
path?
to
Yeah.
figure out which way's the best route to go, either whether it's around this way or around that way, whichever
Sure.
seems to be the easiest, less like no cliffs, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
no cliffs. Sounds good. No cliffs. That's a good standard. No cliffs to fall off. As there's the path that Cloud took, which is kind of a more direct route through the woods. It's kind of where Pio headed off to. And then there's the narrow road that you can follow along, which you know will circumvent the camp by about 10 feet before it opens up into the camp. And then there's the deep woods that are closer to the outlook and the overhang, the actual cliff, which are deeper in the woods, but definitely harder to traverse.
You can stick with the path that circumvents, and then when we know it's going to get too close, we'll have to go into the woods there.
Perfect. So as you all kind of hunker down low and you slowly, methodically begin to make your way into the narrowing road that's barely a footpath now at this point, you remember just following Bridge Tree when you were previously on your way the other direction. And you can hear the crackling and the raging of the bonfire, and now you can see it licking through gaps in the trees as the smoke begins to spiral up into the upper reaches of the Cormanthor. And about here you kind of slow down and determine that if you're to get any closer, you'll probably be at peril unless you're very careful. Devin seems to be almost holding his breath.
So
Time
we'll
to
have
be
to-
stealthy.
We'll have to stealth off into the woods if we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a group stealth check, please.
Oh my god, what the heck?
Okay.
You are stealthy tonight.
Wow. Oh my god. Double crits on stealth. Okay, as you begin to breach into the woods, Devin is actually holding himself pretty significantly. Drogon suddenly becomes the liability, if anything, as the shifting against the splint mail. It is splint mail that you have, right, Drogon?
I
Against
think
the
so.
under tunics.
It might be chain.
Begin to grind against the chain that holds it together, and every now and then, Cloud, you stop and press him lower, and you show him how to move more slowly. You slow your pace to help Drogon and Muse be able to maintain their pace without rushing, thereby correcting some of the missteps that would otherwise belie your location. As all of you begin to crouch low, and before long, you're maybe 10 feet from where the foliage ends and the camp begins. And at that moment, you hear the tittering of goblin chatter begin to erupt into the air. You hear the familiar scratchiness, yet femininity of Pio for a goblin as she retorts back and forth, and they're exchanging words, and now you can hear them kind of exclaim back and forth. Pio says, "Yeah, so what are you guys doing here? What are you waiting for?" "Well, we're waiting for our change of guard, obviously." "Yeah, where did you come from anyway? Were you relieved?" I'm relieved to see you guys." She claps, and they just kind of go back to their meats. So, when do you guys switch out anyway? I lost track of time. Dugray says 20 minutes, I guess, so we're just waiting for him. Oh, she put Dugray in charge? What happened to the other guy? The creepy one. He didn't make it. You didn't hear? Yeah, he's gone. Good riddance. Yeah, I never really liked that guy. Nice clothes, though. Creeped me out, man. Yeah, P.O. says, yeah, never much a fan either. And with that, the clapboard shed opens up, and another plate-bearing goblin steps through with a long top knot also tied back. What are you doing here? Just checking in on the change of guard, obviously. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were going to be on time, because, the fancy lady, she doesn't like to be kept waiting. The other one, the plate-bound goblin, says, what do you know of it? And with that, the two archers appear from behind the tent as they throw the flap aside and step out into the camp, testing the strings on their bows, slotting a couple more arrows into their quivers. Oh, time to go then, I suppose. Yeah, we better. But, answer my question first. What do you know about the fancy lady? Pio begins to struggle and stammer. She told us to change guards, and she doesn't like to be kept waiting. And she begins to fidget, and you can see Pio start to lose it a little bit. The plate-bound goblin steps up to her. He's a full 6 inches taller than her, but still short for a goblin. He reaches out for the blood scarf to grab it. She shrinks back. Hey, it's mine, my trophy, okay? I killed a couple of human kids for it, and I'm not ready to hand it over.
I tap on Glitter Bomb, and the struggle becomes clear, and I'm going, distraction?
I'm going to use Mage Hand and reach as far as I can to start rustling some underbrush near the camp, as close to the camp as I can. I just kind of have the Mage Hand kind of zoom kind of through the underbrush.
Okay. On your side or on the far side of the camp?
As far away from us as I can. Okay.
As you coil together a low whispering incantation, the rest of you watch as you see the brushes on the other side of the camp skitter. Roll a. What are we doing for this usually? Deception, I believe. Roll a
Yeah,
deception check for me, please.
Yeah, that's what you've been having me roll for when I try to do tricksy things.
Before she rolls, could I boost it with thaumaturgy?
Sure. What are you doing?
Same trick. Just following off of what I've seen Glitterbomb do. Use thaumaturgy to create some like extra sound effects in the area.
Okay. You had a couple of footfalls, the shuffling, maybe the cracking of a twig. And with that, the plate bound retreats his hand quickly and looks off to the woods and says, "What the hell was that? You two. Open it up." The archers quickly knock 2 arrows, and let loose 2 arrows into the woods. As they fly through the foliage, they dart out of sight and skitter off some rocks and further into the woods. They look at each other and it's like, I definitely hit that. You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if you were lucky. No, I hit that. No, that's my kill. No, that's my kill. And they both dart off in a rush to confirm the kill as they crash through the trees. The plate-bearing goblin turns his attention back to Pio. Were you ever in command of idiots like these, or did they give you something better to work with? No, I am constantly surrounded by idiots. And you see her small hand behind her back form, like crossed fingers, knowing that you can see it from the brush. But maybe you guys should just keep going anyway. You know where the trench is, and the fancy lady's waiting. Yeah, maybe we should. Let's go, Oz Pockets. The two step up from the blazing fire, and he turns to Pio and says, "Will you see to the fire then?" Yeah. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about a thing, and I'll tidy up around here too. Maybe spread some fresh molting and sewage, make it a little more home-like, you know. Yeah, you do that. Oh, the fancy lady. She stops him as he begins to walk away. Yeah. What did she say before, she took off? He turns and stops and turns towards her. What do you mean, took off? She was leaving, right? Leaving for her vacation spot. What are you talking about? She told us that the exchange was unsuccessful. What else do you know? And he steps towards her, and he reaches out and grabs her by the forearm. I know. I don't know nothing. I'm just wandering around. Where's your contingent? He starts to grill her, and you see Pio completely collapse as he pulls from his belt a dagger, raises it high above his head, and says, "Traitor."
I want to mage hand it away from his hand.
Okay, as he begins to swing down, we will go into initiative. All right, so give me a quick sec here. We'll sort it out. Give me a quick pause.
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 Have quick pause.
Quick pause. Yes, you do. Quick stealthy pause. All right, let me get you. Oops, hey, what's all this nonsense? Let me clean this up. Nope. All right, those of you who are in the brush, I'll just put you back here. Pio's here. Cloud. Muse. And before her. What's that?
What's with the heart icon on me?
Oh, it's to show mad love.
Sweet.
For your crazy
Say,
shenanigans.
all about the love.
There you go. All right. Go ahead and click and roll into initiative.
Come on, we have to beat him. He's gonna kill her.
We got Cloud, Glitter, Pio, Drogon, and Muse. All hands on deck. Respectfully, Devin is not going to launch into battle, but he will cheer you on from the sidelines. And how perfect is that Glitter Bomb should be first in initiative. As Glitter Bomb, as you whip the incantation back, it almost shudders through the branches. You can see the ethereal essence of the mage hand ricocheting through the woods and darting forward as the great green hand of the goblin slams down, intent on Pio's throat, dirk in hand, and the mage hand rushes up to meet it. Go ahead and roll me a grapple.
Which stat do I even use with
That's going to be athletics.
athletics for the mage hand?
That's right.
Oh, good grief. I'm really hoping I can get it.
God. You had to beat a 15. Of course, you crit on it. So as the mage hand ricochets out through the woods like an ethereal ghostly dart, it wraps this invisible energy as he slams downward, and his fist freezes with the dirk lingering inches from Pio's terrified face, hanging there in midair. That's going to be your action.
Yeah, and I'm gonna basically just stay put and just try to keep the mage hand, keeping that knife away from Pio. I'm really hoping to just get it out of the goblin's hand at this point, but I will take stopping the attack.
You can see Glitter Bomb reaching out, straining to manage the arcanic force that's holding his fist frozen in the air. Drogon, over to you. Muse, you're next.
I will... Yeah, I'll cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
And at the goblin.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will rush out of the trees.
As the white holy essence accumulates around your hand and darts forward, that is a hit for 16 radiant damage. And as you dart out of the trees, seeing your friend in need, the hovering dirk frozen by arcane energy, you pull white energy from Dugmar and thrust it forward. It smashes into the chest. Soundlessly, his mouth opens without nary a gasp, escaping into the forest air. As the white light shines through out the back of his mouth, his eyes roll back. Hands still arrested by the mage hand conducted by Glitter Bomb as he falls, slamming down on his back. The forest around you goes silent. Pio stops and looks towards the foliage where you're all hidden. Drogon now having crashed forth, and she just looks up at you. I'm sorry. I choked.
It's all right. It's all right. Pull it together.
We go?
Quick, back into the trees.
Yeah. She retreats back with you as you pull back into the forest line. She says the other two, I don't even know how many there were, 3, 4. I don't know if they kept going or if they'll be back. She looks around, she looks to you, Mio. She's like, I choked.
Happens to all of us, friend. It's all good.
You're so
pat
good
her on
at
the head.
Well,
And try to make... I'm gonna pat her on the head and kind of try to make comforting, chirpy noises.
Thanks.
Very quietly, so we're not heard.
Thanks.
What matters is your coin wasn't tossed, so...
Yeah. She reaches around her neck and just fastens the blood scarf, resetting it around her neck where it was pulled slightly loose. She looks to you, Drogans. You saved my hide again.
It's nothing.
It's
That's
what
what we
friends
do.
Apparently.
Nice.
It sounds like the Nightingale already knows what happened at the fort. We need to be careful headed back.
Yeah, he sounded like she'd been through here. Agreed. That trick might not work another time. They didn't know about me, but who knows?
Okay.
We go hurry, fast.
Yeah,
Let's get moving.
let's
Let's
do
get
it.
back to Devonshire as fast as possible.
Okay. As you slowly make your way withdrawn out to the trail, going back to the footpath, is that the plan?
I think so.
Okay. You make your way further onward using the mighty branches of the bridge tree to mark your way and show you the way back. And before long, you can see the large sweeping swaying of these upper boughs. And you see in the distance, just around the corner, the telltale suspension bridge that rocks to and fro. Are you on the same marching order that you had previously?
Yeah.
Okay. Drogon, roll a perception check for me, please.
Ooh.
Nice.
I am carefully watching for Nightingale. I think I see the Nightingale everywhere.
And perceptive AF. As you round the corner and you begin to approach where the suspension bridge was previously, you slowly catch again the distant voices of goblins on the wind. And you just pull the group to a halt again. Peek around the corner. You can only make out that first platform past the suspension bridge and the darkening boughs that occupy the bridge tree approach. And in there you can see at least the glinting of some kind of steel against the odd bits of sun that pierce through the veil here and ricochet off the dark boughs and branches of the tree dwelling of the bridge tree goblins. You see at least one, again, plate-bearing goblin who seems to be looking outward over the platform.
I look back to Muse and let him know that there's something up ahead. Anything you can do about this?
I'm not 100% sure we can talk our way out of this one, friend, but I can try and carry a tune and see what happens.
Well, we could always go straight through if we want to, but I just want to make sure that people are ready for a fight.
I turn to Pio. You feel enough for spinning another yarn?
With pleasure. Hopefully better than the last time. Maybe if I'm not taking lead, I could do a little better.
Just remember, friend, when you're telling a story, they're listening to you. You craft the tale. They're going to be the ones dancing to your tune. Don't let them lead you like you did last time.
Okay, right. Don't let him lead. I craft the tale. I'll believe it. Okay.
Just remember, you're the goblin queen of the show. They're going to be dancing to your tune, not the other way around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it. I feel good.
And if you run into trouble, same thing. And me and the last word will be ready to back you up.
All right. What's our story? She kind of stands in front, brushes off her armor, ties her top knot back a little bit more tightly.
These look like any ones you know?
She kind of looks through the woods. I don't recognize them offhand. They might be a new contingent sent from the fort. Maybe earlier. Some of them might be the same. Hey. I do see Yaw down there. One of them. Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah, look. Look at that sneaky sons of gods right there. And she points to the large platform with the stacked up barrels and crates just beyond the suspension bridge. It's like he's hiding. I can see him a mile away. Look, just watch for it. And you follow her finger towards the stack, and you do see something shifting. Just for a moment, it moves. Why would they be hiding like that?
best be setting up an ambush.
Yeah.
We could ambush them.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think? She looks back and forth to all of you. Devin just kind of in the back looking inquisitively.
Well, we could try talking a game, or we can go through them, or we can set them up for a trap. Drogon, of course, you can present a solid target. Well, the rest of us set them up for an ambush.
You mean I'm the bait?
Not personal, friend, but you're made of sturdier stuff than me.
All right then.
Besides, I'm a crack. Besides, you've seen what I can do with the last word and the trusty shotgun here. I'll have your back.
Very well then.
I look to the others. Does this sound like a plan y'all are good with, or anyone else got a better idea?
I spook Sparkle Hand. I'll cast Mage Hand to kind of, because I'm lacking words for it.
Sure.
I formed kind of a sparkling silver Mage Hand as I myself kind of puff with silver sparkles.
Okay.
I use kind of make it circle around a little bit. Poke Drogon's shoulder with it.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing. This
Worked before, I guess.
She
wants to know if she can be the distraction.
Oh.
I
Well,
make scared, and
Ah.
I'll use the Mage Hand to kind of point at the one that's hiding. I make scared.
I'll bet you
Try it.
animal sounds.
Try it.
See if you can get him to run in this direction.
Run here. Okay. So I kind of send my Mage Hand kind of darting in the shadows and probably try to keep it as close to invisible as possible and start kind of poking at the one that PO pointed out to us.
Okay. As you
Ready
all
to jump
stand
on him
by
if he gets close.
and watch and kind of hunker down in these brush lands in the woods that lean in against this very thin, narrow footpath now, creating a fairly respectable and reasonable shelter for you. I'll get everyone to roll another group stealth check, please. Hey, Devin crit. What do you know? Devin apparently proving to be far more capable than he would have alluded to in arts of stealth and matters of subterfuge. Okay, and actually we'll balance out. He kind of turns back to you, Drogon, and Muse again. He's like, remember what she said. Just walk on the edge of your feet. Step back. Don't move as much. And now Devin's kind of giving you guys tips and correcting you as you're a little bit antsy as you watch kind of Pio and Glitterbomb conduct this distraction. And Glitterbomb, you channel again as the ethereal hand disappears out of sight. And you just see some moving around the mesh netting that's wrapped around this stack of crates and barrels where the goblin is, the little green balding head is kind of moving around. You see it a little bit more clearly now. And with that, there's a shudder of the boxes. Go ahead and roll a deception check for me, Glitterbomb, please.
Okay. Oh, I hope this works.
Thaumaturgy. Can I add reach for the sky, friend?
Yes, yeah. Roll with advantage, Glitterbomb. As you hear the voice emanate, "Reach for the sky, friend," and the barrels begin to quake and rock. The chests and the crates fly apart as the goblin stands up with a dagger raised high above his head. And the other plate-bearing goblin who's standing next to the platform turns around with a start, scimitar in hand, looks into the empty woods and turns to his companion. Fuck! What is that? I heard something. I heard him. I heard something. And he kind of slowly crawls out over the crates. Turns around and's like, you're gonna kill me before anything in those woods will. Slides his scimitar back. He's like, where are you going? His dagger's still raised. He looks over. I gotta check it out.
I'm gonna
Fine.
I'm gonna have the mage hand kind of start to appear just faintly on one of their backs, so one of the other goblins will see it.
On which one?
Whichever one just turned their back on the other.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So the plate bearing goblin turned his attention outward, and the one with the dagger is still facing him. And as you watch the apparition of this arcane hand sort of appear on the back of the plate wearing goblin as he looks out over the platform, resuming to his watch, the goblin starts to slowly creep with his dagger in hand. And he lunges forward, almost as if though hearing the wind shift. The plate-bearing goblin turns around with scimitar, appears in his hand immediately. Bling, 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 turns the dagger away from his hand. He rolled a crit on his perception check and bangs it out of his hand as the dagger goes skidding her over to the edge of the platform. He's like, you gonna try with me, friend? No, it was on your back. I just saw it a minute ago. Yeah, sure, nice try. You want my post? Is that what you want? You want to wear this? You want to live with this? No, it's just, it's like, you know what? Get out of here. You're relieved. Go back to camp, report in. You're done. Trying to save your life. This is the thanks I get. He kind of stumbles over and angrily picks up the dagger off the platform. He's fine. See if I care. I'll take an early lunch. He slowly starts to make his way across the suspension bridge as it creaks and teeters. And after a few minutes, he's on the other side. The plate-wearing goblin follows him for a moment and turns around, shakes his head. You see the same signature top knot kind of shaking with it as he resumes his post. Scimitar still in hand now, and every now and then he just looks over his shoulder, grumbles, and goes back. And by now, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just thinking I'd like to be right there in front of him when he turns back around, and then just smack him with my hammer.
In front of there's the goblin who's making his way back across the suspension bridge, and then there's the knight, let's say the knightly goblin, who's like further on in the platform in the tree, basically.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So the goblin that was hiding is on his way back across the suspension bridge now, grumbling, and you hear the grumbling getting louder as he makes his way across the bridge, steps off it with a heavy creak, and he's like, kicks a stone out of the way and slams the dirk back in his sheath. Stupid. He's the boss.
I'm gonna try to leap on him and
boss of me.
I want to pull him into the bushes with us.
Okay.
It's close enough. I want to try to do a sneak.
Okay. A sneak gravel.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, sneaky to other people around.
Right.
Trying to
I gotcha. So as you all
quickly.
creep low, Cloud kind of edges right to the forest, almost on a trajectory to intercept this goblin as he's totally unaware, as he's not even looking. He's looking dead-eyed straight ahead, kicks a pebble. Cloud, you deep low. You see like Cloud doing the cat like bum wiggle. It's like getting down there. Her haunches.
That's exactly what I was picturing.
Her haunches are starting to flex, and Cloud, he's 15 feet. 10 feet away. 9, 7, arms reach. And you burst forward from the brambles. Go ahead and roll an athletics check for me, please.
Come on, please.
Oh.
You have inspiration?
You do. Do you have inspiration?
Do I?
Do you?
I don't think so. I don't think I was given any. Was I?
Here.
No,
I don't think so.
so.
When you
I
got
got
the
it.
keys.
I got
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I thought.
You know what though?
No, that
I
was
will
just
say.
for Drogon.
Yeah, I will say, like, okay, I'm not just doing this, but you've all earned it. So go ahead and take it. If you don't have it, take inspiration. That's me being chintzy with inspiration, not me throwing a lifeline to these players. But you guys have more than earned it. So go ahead and take inspiration. If you want to use it now, I'll definitely allow it.
Can I throw friend
Good
rope
try.
to assist?
I'm going to say not at this point because it all happened pretty quickly.
No problem.
All right, come on, athletics. Don't. Oh, it's still not good, but
Okay, as you lunge forward with a grab, I will say if you're there though, so if one of you want to jump forward and help, well, it's still gonna be an 11 either way.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he snaps to just as you leap out, Cloud, and you just misjudge it, and you just hear the whoosh of Cloud's claws through the air as you. You realize that you just misjudged it by about a half an inch, and he turns back, dirk in hand, and lunges towards you again. And we'll get everyone to roll into initiative, please. You can just go ahead and roll, and I'll change your results here. They're still up from last time.
Okay.
I think I would learn not to do stuff like this.
Whew. I crit in the only place it really doesn't matter. On initiative. Okay.
It does kind of matter.
Well, yeah, he'll still be pretty high, but all right, we've got Cloud coming in with 11. We have Muse repping with a 17. Drogon decidedly hanging back and waiting for the right opportunity to act. Strategic 2. And Glitter Bomb somewhere in the middle of the pack with a 10. Pio's 8 will stand, and I believe that is everybody in as Devin continues to do what he does best and cheer from the sidelines. But with that, we'll launch into action. Cloud, I'm gonna give you like that first action, and he is still surprised, however. So you'll get a full round before he can act, and we'll start with Muse.
All right. So it's just one goblin we're fighting?
As best you can tell so far.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go for safety over reserving. Fire off arcane weapon, of course. So
Okay.
the last word, fire starts to kind of pour out of the cylinder, and I'm gonna take my shot.
Okay. It strikes true as from this trajectory, almost at point blank range. A loud crack emanates through the forest as it ricochets off the trees, and the blast of powder rockets forth. Go ahead and roll your damage. Okay, as it slams into him, sends him off kilter. We'll go to Cloud. Your turn.
I'm gonna try and just apparently I'm very single-minded about that right now. I'm gonna try to pull him down into the bushes, even though there's just been a really loud noise.
Okay. It distracts him. It's thrown him off kilter a little bit. You reach out again with another opportunity. Even though he's as nimble, he begins to dodge away, but this time you get one arm over his shoulder, the other around his waist, grab fast, and you've got him held. So with the rest of the half of your movement, you can drag him into the bushes.
I do. I
Okay.
try.
As suddenly Cloud now backs into the bushes before the foliage enwraps around both of you, pulling you back off the trail about 7 or 8 feet into the forest line and off the road.
And I'm trying to jam my furry to his mouth.
All right, just try and prevent him from streaming this like makeshift gag. Glitter bomb. Cloud's now wrestling with writhing with the goblin as he's struggling to break free, and he's like biting at your hand as she's trying to cover his mouth.
I think right now, just because, like, I want to prevent things from ganging up on us, I'm going to send my mage hand over to the archer that's closest to it and try to basically throw all their arrows and ammunition just off the tree and out of reach.
So there's the only one aside from the ones that are fighting in front of you right now. There's the you mean the plate wearing goblin who's left on the platform?
If that's the closest thing to if that's the closest thing to my mage hand, then I want to basically try to sneakily disarm that goblin.
Okay. Go ahead and
yeah, I just want to disarm them and fling that weapon as far away from them as I can. At least to buy us time if we were heard.
Roll a grapple, which is an athletics check for you. Glitterbomb is still focusing down the line towards the platform where this goblin came from.
Can I use my inspiration?
You can, yeah.
I like that better.
Oh my god. Okay. As you you manage to snake the arcane fingers around the scabbard that's at the hilt of this plate bearing goblin, and you pull on it. You hear from the rest of you hear from the platform elsewhere near Bridge Street, like, what's this? Hey, that's mine. And you trade the scabbard for the hilt and slowly begin to draw the scimitar out. He grabs it with both of his hands too, but it's firmly in the grip of your mage hand right now as he's also vying for it.
Nice.
All right,
Okay.
that's my turn.
All right, gotcha. So you've got his weapon in hand. He's trying to get it back from you. We'll see what happens on his turn. All right, Pio rushes over to assist you. Cloud, seeing you, she kneels on the chest and she puts a hand on her former colleague's throat as the goblin is gnashing. She says, just stay still. And she is going to try to further restrain him. And he's like, he bites at her finger. She's like, and she slams her forearm down, wrapped on his mouth before. And she's like, she looks at you, Cloud, nods. She's like, all right, I think we got him. And she just keeps pressing down as his maw opening wider. As it... Drogon.
I will take a swing at him with my hammer.
Okay, he's fully restrained now, so this is going to be an auto crit.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I roll it as a crit? I guess I just roll it twice.
Yeah, so just roll your dice for the damage again.
Okay. Won't let me just click on it. Okay.
Oh yeah, just roll like 1d8.
There you go.
Perfect. Okay. And with that, Drogon, you smash down with the hammer and it crashes as Cloud and Pio both like just barely get out of the way. And Drogon, poof, with a sickening crack as the goblin's head gives way to the mighty fury of Drogon's hammer. As you stand up full height for whatever that is, Drogon, pulling the hammer away. Pio just kind of looks at the opened, bashed head of her former colleague and looks to you, Drogon. Damn. I don't think he's getting up. She pushes herself up, standing. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the field, there is a knight who's struggling to grab his scimitar But we're out of combat sequence, so we'll close that out. Glitter he's trying to like pull back. He gives a mighty yank on the now floating sword. And I'll get you to roll a grapple if you want to hang on to it. If you want to try and rip it away from him.
I'm basically going to suddenly let go and poke him in the eye
Nice.
and make the mage hand disappear.
Okay. So so you're basically just relinquishing it. He rolled terribly, so you're going to try to give him the momentum as he's pulling away, right? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Okay, as you and you blink, come back with the mage hand. Go ahead and roll an attack.
What kind of attack is that going to be?
It'd just be a straight strength attack, strength-based attack, I would say. Actually, I'll give you Arcana. That makes sense. Doesn't make sense for you to roll strength.
Similar, just
Oh my goodness.
Arcana.
Yeah, so just roll an Arcana check, and we'll count that
That's
against
not-
his attack. As from somewhere off in the bushes, you hear the brief clattering of steel, followed by as the voice disappears into nothingness.
You pushed him right off.
And birds begin to scatter from the upper boughs of Bridge Tree and fly off elsewhere, leaving you
Oh my
both to your
God.
devices on the forest-bound trail southward through Bridge Tree, which has now fallen silent, the path beyond unknown, but standing between your party and your quarry and true safety of Dampshire exists a singular tribe of hobgoblins who appear to be awaiting the arrival of our champions, but it will have to wait until next session as we will end our evening there.
Awesome spot
Further
to end on.
Onward
You poked
onto
him in the
Bridge
eye and
Tree.
he fell right off.
Can't believe that worked. I literally rolled like a dexterity save against your Arcana check as an attack trade. And that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Amazing. Let's go back to the casting because I do want to see how everybody. Okay, sorry. We're going Okay, that was not self-indulgent. Of course, we're not starting now, but there's the stream opener. I forgot that I had said it because we were coming into the show. I had set that as the opener for that scene, and now we go back to the scene and it played it again. And I can't stop that train once it starts. We got to ride it out and watch it. But wow, that was pretty freaking awesome. I had a lot of fun with it too. Hopefully, you guys did. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Oh,
You're still alive. We didn't even know. Like I said, that could have been a TPK in the beginning, or it could have been what happened anyway. So
I can't believe your first roll was an 8. That was like gift.
yeah,
That-
yeah.
that was-
And I owed it to you guys. I owed it to you. Like I said, that's the one challenge that I'll allow in the moment. Of course, we still waited till after, but if you had challenged that in the moment, I would have absolutely allowed it because it definitely could have resulted in the death of a party member or 3. So that made
Or
sense.
3.
So think about it. Gather your thoughts, gang, because I'd love to go around the table and hear about what you thought about tonight. But before we do, I'll give you a bit of time as we jump into chat. We had an awesome group in chat tonight. First of all, let's get like a round of applause for those wicked folks who stuck with us to hang out tonight. Thank you so much. I need a clap emoji too, I think, for that. So, yeah, thanks for all of you who hung out tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd love to see you back again as we continue this narrative, which we now know we get to do. Rather than start a new campaign next session, which I'm of course glad for because I'm pulling for you, gang, as well. Josh, thank you for the 50-bit cheer. I think we missed you. I know you had to go eat, which is perfectly reasonable, but thanks for cheering us on tonight. Fear, thanks for hanging out. Seth, Deacon for popping in. Thanks. Good to see you. Dreaded GM, our friend from down under. A fellow GM and an incredible storyteller as well. You should check him out too. And of course, all of us hanging out in chat. Rolls with Advantage, thank you for hanging out. Always good to see you. Quick and clean epic. That was on the kill from the first boss. And actually gave us some really nice credo too. So a lot of nicely performed, just spreading some amazing positivity in chat. And I really like that. Y'all are amazing. I love this stream. Rolls said before he went into lurk mode, which I totally respect too. So thank you very much. That's why we do it, gang. That's why we're here. If you guys are enjoying it, that's all the currency that we need. So obviously the support for the stream is greatly appreciated, but we're just happy to be here doing it for you and for us as well. So we have a good time and we just want you to enjoy it at least half as much as we do, because then I think we're doing it right. So thanks again. If you have any questions or thoughts, ask any of us, the cast, about the show. No spoilers, of course, but feel free to speak up. We'll be happy to answer them in chat for a little bit. And while we're doing that, let's go around. I'm going to hand the conch first tonight for the man who kicked it off this evening with another great Hail Mary play, even if that Hail Mary was me failing a roll miserably. But Dustin, Just Drawn Radio, Muse, what are your thoughts?
I need a nap.
You need a nap. It was emotionally charged too. Yeah.
This was I'll admit one of my funnest combats I've ever been a player in. I will admit the dice gods favored me, especially with that little blurb to Lorelei going, "Okay, please save me."
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. Just like layer it with some solid RP too. Fuck, I love it. I love it. Yeah, continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You're on a roll.
Dude, I'm running on fumes, so it was a blast. I will admit my adrenaline was running for most of it, and once we got over the wall, it was run like heck.
Yeah, that's right. Chasing the woods.
And there was a small amount of, well, if the ogre takes me out here, I think this would have been that point where Muse would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Save the day, got his friends to safety. It'd be a good end.
No doubt. Well, I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad we get to see that saga continue onward. Let's go the opposite side. Let's go over to Nikki at Chickenly Nerd as Cloud. What are your thoughts? How did you feel about it?
Just glad to be alive, first of all. I think there's so much more to explore for these characters. So that was really great that we survived that. Thank you for letting us have that role.
You were absolutely right. Yeah. I think you brought that up in chat after, wasn't it? Wasn't that your call out?
We bullied.
Yeah, you guys...
I think that
they made
Dustin.
me do it.
Yeah, we bullied Dustin into bringing it up.
Good collaborative effort then. Good stuff.
You say, you go. you do it, Dustin. You.
It worked out.
But yeah, and then the role playing was really nice too after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Touching.
Yeah. I'm always amazed at how you guys will just kick the shit out of stuff and then immediately go into like these deep kind of riveting exchanges that involve your backstories and stuff. So I got my work cut out for me too to make sure that that has a good feature in the story, as I always do. So you've given me really good things to work with. All of you have. So I'm grateful for that too. Yeah, it's nice to see it play out. Very nice.
That was very nice, Ryan. Good job.
Yeah. Oh my God. If I could give you double
that
inspiration.
Wasn't even fake. Like totally teary-eyed over that.
Yeah,
totally.
we had
Just
tears.
like, oh.
Good tears. We had the good kind of tears on stream. Right? It was right. Yeah. It's not the this has to follow by a public social media apology tears. Okay,
no,
good.
no.
All right, good. only the right experiences we try to craft here. And actually, what a great segue. Let's go to Ryan, Dads and Dragons as Drogon. What are you thinking?
No, I loved it. We were never out of the woods really, which is awesome. It was fun. I'm always looking for, as a player, like, it's kind of funny. You start off a campaign like with these four characters that really maybe have no reason to gel together. So at the beginning, at least for a while, I'm always looking for reasons to keep a party together and to do that. And I think that's where a lot of the fun storytelling comes in, and to bring up people's backstories. So that's cool.
Nice. And I think those are your DM instincts coming out too,
Yeah.
because I say, like, on behalf of DMs everywhere, thank you for that. Of course, you're all very generous, but I know that's one of those things where if you're behind the screen, you're always kind of like, sometimes it can be painful. You're like, when are these guys gonna click? And usually they're people who will click. It's a matter of getting their characters there too. But you guys have wasted no time. I mean, this group has gelled, not just as players, but as characters too. I think somewhere in there, everybody wants it to kind of happen, but no one's forcing it, and that's really great. It happens so naturally. And
No,
yeah, I was thankful when you actually reached across that barrier. And you're like, okay, so let's narrate how this continues for us. And I was like, that's pretty slick. Yeah, nicely done. What else?
yeah, it's fun. It's I haven't played a cleric in a long time, and it's hard keeping track of my spells too, and to realize, oh wait, I'm all out. There's no more cure. So
yeah. I imagine that's the moment in like a John Wick type movie where you just like go from wasting everything to the click, click, click. Like,
yeah, just gone, just gone. And so I'm gonna have to be a little more cautious there. When I looked and saw I had no more spell slots left, that was something that I haven't had to deal with in a long time.
There you go. A lesson in pacing. Angela, aka a Pleasant Doom as Glitter Bomb. Yeah, how's it going? What are you feeling? What do you think?
That was intense. Yeah, I'm happy that we all survived, and one of the things that I find fun, I'm pretty sure everybody has noticed this. I enjoy finding ways to use non-combat spells in ways that maybe they aren't supposed to be used, but by golly, they'll benefit us.
Friend rope.
Friend rope, indeed.
I just think it's hilarious that we're all still calling it friend rope.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they were talking about that in chat. That was funny.
Yeah, because seriously, like, the way I talk for Glitter Bomb, like, I've tried learning languages and I don't do very well with them. So the way I talk for Glitter Bomb is pretty much the way I feel I sound when I'm trying to speak another language.
That's interesting.
So it's just like, you don't know how to say rope of climbing, so you call it something else. Like, it acted as a friend. Okay, friend rope. So and then it just stuck, and that just blows me away. It just makes me laugh every time. It's just one of those things that makes me happy. And yeah, and Pio sticking with us and helping out in the action. I'm glad we kept her around. It's one of those things I know,
really
like,
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I know some DMs are like, oh man, they just adopted an NPC. And, I know some DMs look to kill off the NPC that gets adopted as quickly as they can. And I'm just thrilled that you're letting us keep her.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was such a great play. And I love those things that are just unforeseen, right? It also, it lets me kind of be in the story in a different way, but I'm always objective about it, right? Like, I won't be protective of that NPC, but I won't also be outwardly, exclusive of that NPC either. I think she's now just a really great part of the story that you guys created. So, yeah, I would never want to take that away. I don't think DMs should. I think DMs have to be objective in that. And like NPCs that feature in and out of story, like that's part of any great story, I think, right? But I credit you guys with that and the decision to bring her in and the way you did, like she practically has her own fully fleshed out backstory now because of how you guys have engaged her. And I love it. That's so great. Like, I feel the same way towards her as I do to any player character at this point. It'll be.
I'm grateful that you let her grow, like that, because what I was worried about, and to say a lot of DMs would just say, well, that's just not what goblins do.
Oh yeah.
They
yeah.
they would do whatever serves them best, and that's what she's going to do. I'm so glad that you didn't. I was thrilled to death that she said, I got to save my friends and get out with them.
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
good.
"Aw."
That's
And
good.
she
I did
she
kind of
was sharing my breakfast bugs.
Yeah. That's great. Popcorn is no, I kind of I thought about that over a lot actually, and I honestly thought in the short time that we've known PO, and I think that helps too to look at them independently, right? As I think maybe that's the difference you're talking about, Glitter Bomb. Like as a DM, when you're looking at NPCs like that, I think it's important to look at them objectively, not as them, because I don't want. I think in the short time we've known PO, I honestly genuinely thought that's what PO would have done. I thought she would have been torn because I think she's fighting her own instincts, which is, get out with the actors who are there. But ultimately, yeah, no, I think her loyalty to you and what you've built with her would have won out. And that's what happened tonight. So, yeah. And I'm glad to see her kind of carry on, at least for a little while. We'll see what happens. But that's really up to you folks, as is so much. Yeah. Awesome. Well done, gang.
We snatched victory from defeat.
Oh man, did you ever? I want like everyone to see that and to see this, but I hope we'll get there eventually. Like I said, we do it for us. We have a great time doing it. We hope that you have a great time joining us as well. It's really not about the numbers, it's about the experiences. But that said, I do want everyone to experience this with us. I want as many people to see this as possible. So if you haven't done so already, toss us a follow, punch that purple button. That's all we ask. It's totally free, but it means the world to us. And share it if you like it. Help us share it out more friends, and come back in 2 Wednesdays time so we can see how this saga unfolds in the hereafter. Let's get to know these wonderful people. Let's start with at Chickenly Nerd. Tell the people where they can find you.
I am at Chickenly Nerd on Instagram and Twitter. I'm definitely more a Twitter girl. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know how that works. But you can find me there pretty much most of the time. And anytime you want to stop by my shop, you're more than welcome to, nerdychicken.ca. And we're trying to sell some stuff there that'll help you hoist your nerd flag high and maybe pick up some stuff that other people just don't have.
That's right. Totally unique. Hard recommend. You got to check it out. A lot of amazing things on there. At Dads and Dragons, where can the people find you?
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Dads and Dragons, or check out the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. It's everywhere, or directly at dadsanddragons.com.
There you go. Get that good listening in. At Pleasant Doom.
Yeah, you can find me at Pleasant Doom on the Twitterverse, or you can look for the podcast that I'm one of the hosts of, Dungeons, Dinings, and Dorks. We've also, 2 of the hosts are hijacking the feed temporarily with something they're calling pH Balance, where they're talking about life as geeky Filipinos in the U.S. So they'll have their own feed eventually, but they're borrowing the Dungeons, Dinings, and Dorks feed. So yeah,
I will have to check that out.
find
That
us
definitely
there.
sounds unique. That's awesome. Do check it out. And rounding out the pack at Just Drawn Radio. Tell the people where to find you.
Of course, you can find me on Twitter at JustDrawnRadio. When I talk about comic books, comic culture. Usually I show some nerdy art. Why we need, and sometimes just why we need heroes. You can also find my show on cjtr.ca, where you can find me, a buddy of mine, Aiden, and of course my girlfriend, Caitlin, who also commandeers my show once a month for Women in Comics, where she proves that, dear God, I am a total when I'm on the air.
It's awesome. A lot of great stuff going on there. So do find these great folks. They deserve your time, attention, and love. And of course, I'm Brad, aka Shambazzle Games, at Shambazzle Games everywhere on the internet, and of course here at Shambazzle Games on Twitch. So 2 weeks, Wednesday, do come back and check us out. But otherwise, until then, happy gaming, be good to one another, and we'll see you next time for another stream right here on Shambazzle Games.
Stay awesome, y'all.